Stream at 5 because they made the postseason. So
More
Yeah,
at
that's right.
WTIC.com.
They're playing the Yankees,
I'm
right?
John Silver.
correct.
WTIC 1080.
I was like, hey, forget the pregame. Just let us finish out the hour and then go straight to them. But nope.
Neighborhood favorites.
God, they made the postseason.
How healthcare offices become the data protecting caregivers that we all depend on. And how wealth management firms become cyber-securing guardians of your information. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, and Wi-Fi backup, your business can stay connected and get threat-ready with Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get started with our reliable business internet. Plus, stay connected when you add Wi-Fi backup for just $35 a month. And ask about a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Call today. Restrictions apply. Wireless Connect requires business internet for additional monthly charge. Taxes and other fees extra. Prepaid card offer ends 11/16/25.
Stressed out about owing over $10,000 in back taxes? The IRS isn't slowing down, and neither is Tax Hardship Center. Last year alone, the IRS wiped out over $163 million in tax debt for thousands of hardworking people who qualified. If paying back the IRS threatens your finances, you may be eligible for hardship programs that could let you settle for a lot less. Everyday Americans are finding relief right now by calling Tax Hardship Center to see if they qualify. You've been thinking about fixing this. The time to act isn't tomorrow. It's today. Call Tax Hardship Center for a free consultation and see every option for lowering your IRS debt. Call 800-460-2004. With increased IRS collections, now is the best time to see what tax relief programs you may qualify for. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, call Tax Hardship Center. 800-460-2004. 800-460-2004. That's 800-460-2004.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage. Medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
No doubt.
Hey, yo! Hey, shh. Calm down. The show is about to start. Reese on the radio. Turn it up. Turn it up low. Turn it up loud.
It's like a dream come true.
Turn on your radio. Reese's on the radio.
Yo, let's get it.
Due to the nature of this program, discretion does not exist. It's Reese on the radio. Right now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Oh, yeah. What's going on, all you scallywags out there? How we doing? Holla, holla, pop your collar. You know what time it is. It's Reese on the radio on WTIC News Talk 1080. Happy Tuesday to every one of you. Is it Tuesday? It is Tuesday, right? I'm certain it is.
Correct.
Yeah, okay, it's Tuesday. I'm forgetting what day of the week it is. Holla, Mark, how are you? And, of course, Michael B. in the chat room, and all of you who are listening across the Fruited Plains and, of course, in the Nutmeg State. I love you. Welcome to the program. Michael B. got some great, fantastic news. I can only say one thing to you, Michael B. Can I hold $5? Can I hold $5? You got to go to the chat room to know what I'm talking about. Just $5. We got a lot of stuff to get into today. I was in a text exchange with Josh Elliott, running for governor. He and I are going back and forth. I'm trying to get him on the program if he is willing to do it. Right now, he's probably listening because he's fundraising. He's trying to get some money up so that he can run against Governor Lamont. And the only reason why Josh Elliott is on sort of top of mind right now is because I haven't seen him. Have you? Since his announcement, have you seen Josh Elliott? I haven't. Apparently, he is online. Apparently. I went to his X page today, and he's talking about fundraising, talking about there's a deadline at midnight tonight. But I find it odd with a primary just 10 months to go. Why is Josh Elliott not everywhere? You would think that there would be a campaign. I mean, it's Josh Elliott. It's not like this guy's a nobody. Everybody knows who he is, and he's running against a, 53 to 58% approval rating Ned Lamont? Oakley dokley. And Josh Elliott got a lot of press as soon as he announced that he was running. Again, still finding it odd. With 10 months to go, 10 and a half months to be exact, he's just not everywhere. And there are some other problems. I'll get to that, but that's why I wanted him on the show. I started thinking about him, and I started singing a little hymnal on his behalf. Where is Josh Elliott? Because it's a conspiracy. His campaign is silent. A conspiracy. It does not make much sense. A conspiracy. There's no online presence. Where is he? Where's Josh? Come on, man. Come on out of hiding. Come on over here to the show. Let's get you the proper endorsement that you need. Not from me. Don't go crazy. But let's get you out there. Let's get some people to know who you are. I kind of feel like no one's really following you. And that's probably because you're not present. And boy, would you burn the house down if you came over here to talk to Reese on the radio. I mean, go over to his X page. If you're online right now, go over to his X page. At least he can get some views so that you can see what's going on. 10 months to go running against Governor Lamont. The guy is clearly running left of Lamont. I looked at some of his proposals. What do we got here? Let's read a few. He clearly wants to tax the rich. It says here he wishes to overrun Connecticut's regressive tax structure. He proposes amending the tax code to ensure that the wealthiest residents pay their fair share, including a 1% to 5% capital gains surcharge on raising marginal tax rates on millionaires. This would fund essential services without overburdening the middle class or the working poor. He criticizes the current system for favoring the ultra-wealthy and gutting public programs. He wants more public programs. Why isn't that resonating here? It doesn't make sense. I thought Connecticut was becoming more and more progressive. I mean, with all of the protests that you're seeing, the screaming and the hollering, the money that's going to Indivisible and other organizations just like that, of course it stands on illegal immigration. I thought that we had figured the whole thing out. But I need to understand what is happening with the campaign. Is he having funding problems? Does he not have enough public interest? Is the support non-existent? And why is there no polling data with 10 months to go with a primary? I mean, a primary is 10 months and 2 weeks away, and there's no significant polling data between he and Ned Lamont. I don't understand it. I would expect there to be some sort of like advanced team doing some polling of their own. Perhaps going to Quinnipiac and asking them to ask some registered voters what they think of Josh Elliott, but nothing. I searched everywhere. But I think, and I could be wrong here, I think there's a reason why Josh Elliott has not been everywhere you look with 10 months to go. And I think it has everything to do with Zohran Mamdani. I think that's it. I think that there are progressives like Josh Elliott waiting around, holding their breath for the mayoral race in New York. I think they want to see how well Mamdani does. And if he beats the pants off of Andrew Cuomo, unleash the hounds out of the Elliott campaign. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? You grab onto those coattails and that momentum and you say, you know what? The tri-state area is ready. The tri-state area is ready for Josh Elliott. And then, you know what? To make it even better, here's what you do. You get a hold of Mamdani and you say, Mr. Mayor-elect, why don't you come on up here to Hampton and we'll do like a campaign rally for me. You know, we'll go to Hartford. You know, we'll go to some of the progressive areas. We'll do Bridgeport. You know, and we'll ride that celebrity. That's what I think is going on. I would love to ask him those questions because what a strategy that would be. Now, again, we went to his X page. He posted something a little more than 6-7 hours ago. It didn't get a lot of traction. I'm not sure that a lot of people are checking for Josh right now. I'm not sure why. Maybe the marketing isn't doing very well. Maybe the push. I mean, maybe he just doesn't have the right people. That's all I'm saying. Now, I'm not offering my services, Josh, in case you're watching. But I think that you need to come on, take some tough questions, explain to the state exactly what your plans are, whether or not you're to the right of Mamdani or you're, riding shotgun, just something that we need to know. And I think it's important. I do. I think it's important. I think it's good. I think it'd be good for you, and I think it'd be good for the state of Connecticut. That's all. I've already got people in the chat room and are saying, no, don't do it. Don't fall for it. It's a trap. Josh, you can take their word for it. You can not show up. Look, I know that the Democrats are scared. I've talked to them. I've called their communications people. And once they know who Reese on the Radio is, these people run for the hills. Nope, not going to do it. I get it. It's all right. It's okay for them to be afraid of me or concerned about what the interview is going to turn into. Probably because it won't be an interview, it'll be a discussion, and I will hold them accountable for every talking point that they use during the. That's fine. That's it. I don't feel shunned. I don't feel ignored. I don't feel blackballed. It's okay. You do have to understand it. I've got quite the ego, and by not coming on my program, by not returning my phone calls, by not taking advantage of the opportunity, shows me one thing. You're scared to death. That's okay. It's quite all right. It's quite all right. But we're going to be watching it. It's 10 months till August 11th, which I think the primary is. He's still fighting for campaign dollars. If you want to support him, please do. If you don't, please don't. But we're going to be watching this closely, especially tomorrow. Once the deadline hits, we'll find out whether or not he actually makes that threshold. And we'll see if we can get him on the program. He says he's going to. The last text message I lent to him, he says, I sent this to him. I said, he said he can't do it today with the EOQ fundraising. I'm sorry. I said, okay, when is a good day? I know it's short notice, but I'm flexible. He goes, I assume you want me for a 4 p.m. slot. I'm like, yes, any day this week. I've still not heard anything. So hopefully he will take me up on it. Maybe bone up on exactly what I might be talking about, whatever's necessary. I hope that he does, because I think it'll be an interesting conversation. And I think it'll be beneficial for him, not for me. I get nothing. I gain nothing from this conversation. I just want to talk to him because I really think that this is the closest thing we have to a Mamdani in Connecticut. I mean, isn't he? I kind of feel like he's got that vibe, right? I mean, that's what everybody's saying. That's what all the news media is saying. So I'd like to get the word out so we exactly know who he is, what he's all about. Anyway, if you've got an idea of what you think is going on Josh Elliott, just give me a holler, 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. Today we need to talk about some scandals that are happening in the state of Connecticut that for some odd reason have disappeared from the pages of our news. We'll get to the bottom of those. What is hate crime prevention? Mamdani is talking about having an 800% increase in New York that's slated for hate crime prevention. And I've got the definition of what that hate crime prevention entails. And the last item on its list should concern people. And the thing it's going to, I really do believe this. I think that the Jewish community is about to have a rude awakening, according to this program. And we'll have some audio sound bites of Mamdani talking about this program as well. Because the way in which he describes it, and this guy is very put on. He's not anything he says is scripted. You know how some people just talk off the fly? This guy is incredibly scripted. And I took something out of this statement he said on MSNBC, so I'll play that as well. We'll talk about also Hakeem Jeffries is now a tough guy. This story has legs, and I can't wait until the president is asked about Hakeem Jeffries' latest comments that he said at the steps of the Capitol. That's going to be fantastic. That back and forth is going to be great. I mean, really, really good. Hollywood news. Oh, yes, by the way, programming note, we go to .com after 5. So if you want to check out the program, you'll need to go to WTIC.com. If you have the Odyssey app, of course, go there, or you can go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com for the program. So, again, that's at 5 o'clock. Because the Red Sox made the playoffs, and they're playing the Yankees. And for what I heard from yesterday's game, it don't look good. So we'll see what happens with all of that. Again, we'll talk a little bit more about Josh Elliott. I'll break down that. And there was something else. There was a story that I had here. I apologize, because I'm supposed to have all this stuff sitting in front of me, and I don't. Oh, yes. Democrats are finally coming out and telling the truth about their Mamdani problem. We've got that as well. Plus, headlines are coming up in the next hour as well. Let's read some of the comments in the chat room. Hate and envy of successful people in the private sector is a disease. Couldn't agree more, Lori. And I don't even know what that hatred is about, but, people have it. Going on a conspiracy show. I'm not sure that this is a conspiracy show. This show is a conspiracy show? When did that ever happen? I would consider this show clairvoyant at best, but not conspiracy. We don't do conspiracies. We don't shy away from them. And what conspiracies have we talked about here? I want to attack Elliott only. Do I? Do I want to attack? And with all due respect, if you're concerned about my attacking of Josh Elliott, ask yourself this quick question. Attack him for what? He's got the right ideas, doesn't he? Like, he's the progressive know-it-all. His ideas work. He should be able to withstand an attack if indeed he's prudent and sound. Why would anybody be concerned about being attacked? See, I love the idea of like, attack me. I've got the confidence to fight an attack. Like, that's like being in a fight or being, it's like somebody says, like, I want to fight you. I'm like, well, bring it on. I'm ready for that. For you to be concerned about somebody being attacked means that you're concerned that they won't be armed well with the facts. Don't expose yourself like that. Don't be concerned. You shouldn't have said that. You should have said, yes, Elliot, go on there because he's going to try to attack you and I know you can beat him. But here you kind of like, you show your hand. I don't want to have to tell you how to fight. That's something your daddy should have taught you. Okay, but when you start screaming that you're just going to attack him, consult your therapist. You're going to attack him. That's what I do. So what? Let's take a break. We'll come back. More news, more views, your phone calls when we return. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Picture this. You're eating good food, enjoying a cocktail with dinner, and losing weight. That's the power of Awaken 180, a weight loss program that teaches you how to eat for your body without giving up what you love. No medications, no gimmicks. With Awaken 180, you get personalized coaching, lifetime support, and results guaranteed in the first week. Finally, a program that makes sense and creates lasting change. To kickstart your transformation, visit awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800.
Slow? Clogged? Backed up? Don't worry. ALO Home Services has you covered. For only $93, our technician will clear any drain in your home. And if it can't be cleared, it's free. Call for details. License number HIC 628926, P10277688, S10413487, D10401465, S3308699, SM3004646, E1185643.
There's a lot happening in Washington and in your local neighborhood. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app to keep up with the latest.
More than a few of our patients have talked to me about their first time, but it's not the first time you're probably thinking about. It's the first time that erectile dysfunction ruined the moment. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, and if you're over 50, it's likely that you've had that first time yourself. But the good news is that if you're like most men, that first time can be the last time that ED impacts your sex life. At Northeast Men's Health, we're experts in treating ED. We've treated tens of thousands of men using protocols with success rates well over 90%. And those treatments, in most cases, have made sex great again for both them and their partners. You could even find that you're performing like you haven't in years. So if ED has been affecting your intimacy, it's time to make the last time that happens the last time that happens. For just $99, you'll receive blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956. That's 800-930-5956 or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the Northeast to serve you. Northeast Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
And now, a WTIC news update.
.230 Hartford, temperature 77 degrees. I'm John Silva. WTIC 1080 News. Bob Cox has the forecast details coming up. Clock ticking toward that government shutdown. That could be the case, barring an 11th hour miracle. Democrats say Republicans are refusing to negotiate a standoff over health care. Republicans are blaming Democrats for the current situation. President Trump and Secretary Pete Hegseth addressed top military brass in Virginia today. Trump wants to use American cities as training grounds for the armed forces, and Hegseth says new directives for troops, including gender-neutral or male-level standards for physical fitness, are on tap. State Office of Inspector General has determined an officer-involved shooting of a suspect last year in New Haven was justified. The IG says officers shot and killed Jabrell Conley last September 19th as they investigated him for an outstanding warrant. They say Conley fired a shot through a driver's side window, after which officers returned fire, killing Conley. Police in Naugatuck have arrested a teen in connection with a weekend attempted robbery. 18-year-old Larry Mason He allegedly went to a multifamily home on Hill Street Saturday night to steal cash from a resident there. A struggle ensued, during which Mason fired a shot from a gun that he was holding. No one was hurt. And the state's offering $50,000 to anyone with information that leads to an arrest and conviction in the deaths of two men whose bodies were found in a burning vehicle in Oxford last year. The state did not share any more about the investigation into what happened that day. The 36-year-old David Rivera and 39-year-old Carlos Calderon were found. WTIC News time is 2:31. Bob Cox has the WTIC Weather Center forecast.
Temperatures this afternoon mostly between 75 and 80 degrees under a mix of sun and clouds. Tonight it becomes mostly clear and cooler with lows dropping into the 40s to around 50. Wednesday will be bright and sunny, but highs hold in the 60s tomorrow. A northerly breeze at 10 to 15 miles per hour with some higher gusts. Then it's clear and chilly for Wednesday night, lows between 38 and 48. Mostly sunny Thursday, highs again in the 60s. Friday and the weekend look mostly sunny. The high getting up to about 70 or so Friday, 80 Saturday, and low 80s Sunday. I'm meteorologist Bob Cox in the WTIC Weather Center.
78, partly sunny in Hartford. Dow's down 42. NASDAQ's down 14. S&P is up 2 points. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Never liked braces? Invisalign is an alternative that may be right for you. It's removable, more comfortable, and reduces the risk of developing cavities and gum disease. Get your dream smile discreetly and easily. Call Columbia Dental at 860-645-0111.
Brian Jackman here for QC Kinetics. Listen, if you're dealing with joint pain, whether it's arthritis or injury, and you're sick of it and you're not doing anything about it, well, you might want to just pick up the phone because QC Kinetics might be the answer for you. You can get long-lasting relief without drugs, without surgery. They use regenerative medicine that basically revitalizes your joints using growth factors from your own body. That's right, whether it's back, knees, hips, shoulders, whatever it is, they can get you lasting relief. And get this, when you follow up with them, that consultation is totally free. So you go in there, learn if it's right for you, bring your MRIs, bring your x-rays, and at the end of that, you've learned something about yourself, and you might find out that QC Kinetics is the solution you've been looking for. Give them a call right now, 860-440-PAIN. Again, it's 860-440-PAIN. They have locations most likely near you, Avon, New Haven, and Glastonbury. And like I said, that first consultation, totally free, risk-free. QC Kinetics, 860-440-PAIN.
House stealing. It's a nightmare that's real. It's the FBI's term for thieves stealing your home's title and draining your equity. Just one fake document filed with a recorder, and scammers can own your home on paper, drain your equity, and do it all without you even knowing. Imagine waking up to a foreclosure or eviction notice. Listen to former title thief Matt Cox.
What people don't realize is the ease in which this crime can happen. I can take the deed to your house and I can transfer that deed into my name. It's a great.
No, Wendy, he wasn't being difficult. He was just being Tim. He was concerned that Josh Elliott being on my show, he would only be attacked. And I told him that Josh Elliott should be able to be attacked when your ideas are on display and they affect thousands, if not millions of people. You should be able to deal with an attack. Tim doesn't think he should be attacked. He thinks he should be coasted in like a kid with a diaper and allowed to just do whatever he wants.
WholesaleUSA.com and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 203-896-4000. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and more importantly, anywhere in Connecticut. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trash and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying junk houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and even foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 203-896-4000. That's 203-896-4000. 203-896-4000.
This health fact brought to you by ProHealth Physicians.
One of the best ways to stay healthy during flu season is to get your flu shot.
Hi, I'm Kayla Dixon, a primary care nurse practitioner at ProHealth Physicians in Southington. A yearly flu shot is a safe and effective way to prevent the flu. It protects both you and others. We recommend everyone 6 months of age and up to get their flu shot each year, especially those who are 65 or older, pregnant, or with chronic conditions. Getting vaccinated helps stop millions of people from getting sick and thousands from dying. If you do get sick, your symptoms will likely be milder. Plus, there's a lower chance you'll get really ill. Take control of your health. Book your flu shot today. Talk to your doctor if you have any questions.
ProHealth's free drive-through flu clinic is this Saturday from 10 a.m. to noon at 3 Farm Glen Boulevard in Farmington. Free flu shots for ages 18 and older while supplies last. Visit ProHealth Physicians on Facebook to learn more.
If you have unfiled taxes, get to the IRS. This is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Listen to WTIC News Talk 1080 on the free Odyssey app. Download and like WTIC today for alerts on special programming.
I'm Josh Elliott, and I'm running for governor of Connecticut. This week is our first big test, the end of quarter fundraising deadline. To qualify for public financing, we have to show that thousands of everyday people are with us, not corporations, not the wealthy few. The fight ahead could not be more urgent. We're up against a Trump movement that's willing to tear down democracy and strip away freedoms. Here in Connecticut, we need leadership ready to protect our immigrant families, making our state affordable for working people, and stand strong against creeping fascism. Public financing is how we build a campaign rooted in people, not special interests. But to unlock it, we need your help right now. And before midnight, every donation between $5 to $320 matters. I'm asking you right now to step up and chip in. Make a contribution before midnight and help us send a clear message. Connecticut is ready for a governor who can't be bought and won't back down.
Now, I'm not sure exactly who Josh Elliott is talking about when he says that we're looking for a governor who can't be bought. Shots fired, Lamont, shots fired. If he is suggesting that, that's something that we want to ask him. And I am pleased to report Josh Elliott has agreed to be on the program tomorrow afternoon at our usual interview time at 4:05 p.m. So stay tuned for that. And I love telling you guys what's on tap for the next day. Normally you don't do that, but I like being able to. So Josh Elliott is confirmed. He'll be calling on the hotline. We will be talking to him. We'll see if we can keep him for an hour. It might be good for him to talk for an hour, but we'll get him on the program. And it's important to talk to him about these things. And as it was said in the chat room about attacking him, certain things must be attacked vigorously because some things they're not exactly helpful to a lot of individuals. I'm going over Josh Elliott's gubernatorial campaign ideas. And one strikes me as a homeowner. And it reminds me of a discussion I had with my then teenage daughter. She was about 16 years old. And we're having this discussion about immigration and about property values. How the two meshed, I'll explain. So I was telling her a story about an ex-girlfriend of mine, and I talk about her all the time. She's from Danbury, Connecticut. And we used to take the Metro North into Brewster, and then her brother would drive in and come and pick us up, and we'd go hang out in Danbury. So we're coming into Brewster, and while we're hanging out there, we would wait at the local bar there. I think the bar's still there. but we wait there, or do we go to the diner? But whatever the case was, we were there, and Laura was telling me about the neighborhood. So we took a quick walk in the area, and sure enough, we saw this one house that was very, very nice. And right next door to it was another house. Didn't look all that great, and it had farm animals in it. And I was shocked as a boy from New York, thinking that in a residential area, somebody would have farm animals in the backyard. Like, yo, what the hell is this? And so my girlfriend at the time tells me, yeah, that's a big problem out here. People are really concerned because a lot of folks come into the neighborhood and this really affects their property value because, you know, there's not a lot of upkeep in these areas. And I never experienced that. And then again, I'm in my 20s. I've never owned anything, much less a car. So I don't really understand that. But as I'm listening to her, again, not even having a political conversation, I'm just thinking about the homeowner who has probably done renovations to his home, probably modernized it in some way, you know, for upkeep reasons, not just for their own personal advantage, but probably to resell it should they move. They want to get the best for their, you know, of their investment. And thinking next door, they're going to get the home appraised. And because of the person who lives next door, who has run their neighborhood or their home like a crap show, this affects that individual. So I'm, again, years later, having the discussion with my teenage daughter as she is talking about immigration reform and all this other stuff, as a 16-year-old does, you know, very novice approach to the whole issue. And then I started to talk to her about this deal, you know, that I experienced in Danbury or in Brewster. And it was the best way that I could articulate it was, look, imagine you and your husband invest in a home and you buy the home for, say, $300,000. And you decide you're not going to raise a family in that home and you're going to move someplace else, but you need to sell it so that you can buy a better home or you can live in a better neighborhood, whatever the case may be, but you're going to sell that home. If you bought it for $300,000 and the property value or the neighborhood isn't really worth anyone buying, and the next thing you know, you can only sell the house for about $230,000, what are you going to do? Are you going to be okay with that? Are you going to look at your husband, or is your husband going to look at you and just say, yeah, we can take the loss because, you know, we don't want to be bigots. You know, we don't want to be a bunch of nihilists. So I'm sitting up here going, what do you do? I start looking at this and going, why would I ever want someone to move in my neighborhood that was going to affect it in a negative way? Why would anybody? Forcing that on people, what's the purpose of moving to said neighborhood? What's the purpose of staying if you know that policies are only going to decrease its value, decrease the quality of life, and the main reason is so that you don't have people thinking that you're a bigot. That's what you get out of it. That's what your take home is. Well, at least I'm not a bigot. My house isn't worth crap, but at least I'm not a bigot or a racist. So I'm looking at this statewide zoning and affordable housing reforms. He opposes Lamont's veto of House Bill 5002. You know that one. We all talked about it. He wishes to promote state-level action to require every town and city to contribute to affordable housing development, even if politically unpopular with local leaders. Elliott argues for passing such bills and tweaking them during implementation rather than delaying. So he is going to make you turn your neighborhood into what he believes as a racial utopia. Because we're a welcoming state. Forget about the money you've invested into your home. Forget about the quality of life that you've become accustomed to. And that, of course, that's always been the role of folks like this. And that is for them to decide what's best for you. This is all going to make you better people. It'll help you understand different cultures and ways of life so that you're not living in this bubble. A bubble they don't seem to get out of, but a bubble that you can't afford to live in. I'm just saying. Nobody finds that odd? Do people think that having to ask that question would be an attack? To actually probe that before somebody casts a vote? Somebody explain to me what makes you the authority on how people should live or where they should live or what they should allow in the communities that they built? Does their own personal sweat equity mean nothing? And why are you casting aspersions on people you don't know and you haven't met or you have no investment in? Someone explain that to me. Because the crazy part is that you wouldn't allow that from anybody else in the world. You wouldn't allow that from anybody else in your own home. You wouldn't allow your neighbor to tell you how you should paint your house. You wouldn't allow your neighbor to tell you how to, plant your garden. Sure, you'd take advice. I'm sure your neighbor would come by, hey, you know what would really make those petunias bloom? I use this, that, and a third. But imagine the HOA came by and told you, no petunias. It's an ugly plant, an ugly flower. You can't have them there. You would lose your mind. You've got to put cactus. I'm just trying to understand why Josh Elliott thinks, and again, I would just erase this from my platform. Just entirely. I would just erase it. But it's a priority. And no one seems to, there are no questions why. No one's questioning why it's important. And aside from the societal stuff or the feel-good nonsense, just how does anyone benefit from that? Explain to me how forcing people to take in whomever is a net benefit to the people who've actually built something. That's the kind of questions that I want to ask. And I hope that he has a good answer for it. Spoiler alert, he won't. He won't. Because they never do. No offense, but when I hear this stuff, it's the musing of a child. Because it isn't realistic and it doesn't take into account what real people have to go through every day. And the other sad part is that they never implement it for themselves. They think it's right for everyone else except for them. And I believe in one rule, and it's the only rule I go by. You first. Just like I tell you guys, I don't ask you to do anything that I wouldn't do myself. So I would tell them, you first. Put a low-income housing establishment right next to your home. Now, show the rest of us how it's done. Show the rest of us how it's a net benefit to you. And if it works, hey, look at that. It actually works. Means tested. That's another 2 words I like. Let's take a break. We'll come back and we'll get some phone calls. Plus, we'll get to headlines in a moment. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC NewsTalk 1080.
Do you hear that? Asthma triggers are everywhere, from dust mites, pet dander, and pollen, to smog and smoke. An asthma attack can strike anywhere, anytime. Be prepared with quick-acting Primatene Mist. Clinically proven to open airways quickly. It's the #1 FDA-approved asthma inhaler available over the counter. Primatene Mist. Breathe easy again. Use as directed.
Uma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Uma cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees. Ooma. Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with a Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
We know you're uncertain about psychics. Is this fortune teller you found on a forum legit?
Your one true love is...
Me! That's why California Psychics reject 98% of the psychics who apply to work with us. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. New customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. So experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com. Get insights on the go. Download the California Psychics app today.
At LendSeek, we know running a business takes heart, hustle, and sometimes a little help. That's why we stand with you with our exclusive AI lending platform, connecting you to over 100 funders. If you've been in business for at least 2 years with a minimum annual revenue of $500,000, you can get up to $1 million funding in as fast as 24 hours. No collateral, no prepayment penalties, no red tape. Apply today with no cost or obligation at lendseek.com. That's LENDSEEK.com.
It's Reese on the Radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
We're back, and I'm looking at this thing. Education. Well, aside from education, I don't even want to go into that yet. Another question I want to ask Josh Elliott, pictured here to my right, is this idea about raising the minimum wage. And he's an advocate for raising it beyond the $16.35 an hour, which is, in fact, isn't it? It's about to go up, right? On New Year's, right? New Year's Day, like another 13 cents or something like that. But anyway, so he wants to raise it beyond that, which is probably going to be, in his view, probably going to be somewhere around $20 an hour. He will probably go the same route as Gavin Newsom with the $20 an hour for pizza delivery drivers. This is, forget about it. I don't even know what to tell you. What it'll do to businesses like that, they'll probably fire a bunch of employees. I don't think and again, I want to ask him, it's like, no matter where you turn, these ideas have always left or always ended up firing more people or causing more unemployment. This has also hurt young kids from joining the workforce. It's just, entry-level positions like for 16 and 17-year-olds who usually are the delivery kids. I remember the day when we used to talk about that, or it was something we saw as a fabric of our lives, a kid delivering things from newspapers to pizza to anything. It was a young kid. I remember laughing at, kids who would deliver food to our neighborhood, and he'd be driving like a small Honda something, like a Prelude or, Honda Civic. And this kid would come to the door, and I'd see him, and when you get so old that the young kids look really, really young, like this kid walks up to the door with my pizza, he looks 11. I'm like, how old are you, kid? He's like, oh, I'm 17. I'm like, in my head, I'm going, and he's driving. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right, you can drive at 17. But again, in my head, I'm not getting that. Because when I was 17, I didn't have a car. I lived in New York, no need for it. But it always blew my mind. But those jobs were for 17-year-olds. Do you really think that an employer is going to give that job to a 17-year-old now when we have a minimum wage of $20 with that kind of money? Where kids are more likely to make mistakes? No, it's not a good investment at all. It's the reason why you have 30 and 40-year-olds working at McDonald's. I will admit, McDonald's as of late, I've seen a lot of younger kids, at least in my neighborhood, a lot of younger kids working at the McDonald's and working at, like the Dunkin' Donuts. I've seen some, not a lot. But I remember when I started seeing aged people working at McDonald's. It was really weird because even I worked at McDonald's when I was a kid. I worked at Burger King when I was a kid. It's just, I don't know, it's just odd. That's where we're going. But if we see this minimum wage rise, forget about it, kids. Where are they going to work? Just where? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for you to hire them. Not in these places. Abercrombie and Fitch, you're safe there, kids. You're safe in Abercrombie. Nobody's hiring anybody. Everywhere else is a wash. I'm just saying. So, yeah, I want to talk to him about this. So, according to Josh Elliott, he will be on the program tomorrow at 4:05. And I hope that you will join us for that. And I promise we're not going to make it a spectacle. We're not going to make it some sort of shouting match. We'll get to the bottom of it. When we come back, we've got headlines. I also want to get into what is a hate crime prevention program. The breakdown of this will astound you, especially the group that these hate crime prevention programs are using to identify hate crimes. You've heard of this group before. You'll know them, and you'll notice it exactly when I mention them. But the way that I'm looking at the structure of hate crime prevention programs, it sounds like they're designed to go after us, conservatives. This does not sound like it's going after Free Palestine folks. And I'll break that down for you as well. We'll talk about that coming up. And what else? Oh, we got Hakeem Jeffries. Now he's a tough guy, and he's telling the president, say it to my face. We'll ask the question, who here is concerned about Donald Trump saying something to Hakeem Jeffries' face? We'll play that audio for you as well. Hey, Roland, yesterday Joey had me do something weird. He had me out at 59. Is there a reason for that?
I'm not sure. No.
Okay. It may have been some other reason. Okay. Anyway, we'll get to that. Also, I saw someone asking the question, what is a black job? I'll explain that today for those of you who do not know. There is a thing called a black job, and we can thank CNN for the definition when we return. So stand by for that as well. It's time to get to the top of the hour news with John Silva. We've got Mark Christopher coming up with the BPS traffic. That's getting you home if you folks are about to get off and hit the road. So stand by. More news, more views, and you can shake a stick at it. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
There's a lot happening in Washington and in your local neighborhood. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app to keep up with the latest. WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
3 o'clock, our true temperature 78 degrees. Good afternoon, I'm John Silva. WTIC 1080 News. We've got a mix of clouds and sun out here today. We have temperatures right now that are approaching 80 degrees. Again, we're at 78 right now. All the forecast detail is coming up. Looking more and more likely there will be a government shutdown at midnight. Nicole Killian is on Capitol Hill.
We expect some type of vote potentially at some point before the end of the day. And look, senators that I talk to say that they are willing to stay for as long as it takes to try to resolve this issue.
And if things do shut down, it means national parks will cut services or even close. Kristen Bregnell is with the National Parks Conservation Association.
National parks would not have any staff to run them. It would be essential staff only. And last time around during the shutdown, we saw a lot of vandalism, damage to parks, poaching of wildlife.
First District Congressman John Larson, the Democrat, says Republicans have the opportunity to work with Dems on health care to avoid the shutdown.
Go back to the premise here. They have the presidency, they have the House, and they have the Senate, and their lead is Democrats are shutting down government? Give me a break.
He was on WTIC's Brian and Company this morning. Vernon police are charging a funeral director with over 60 counts of fraud. They say Philip Pietris stole prepaid funeral money from customers. He's been accused of doing likewise in several other neighboring towns. In Vernon, he's charged with over 20 counts of larceny as well, on set in that case at $800,000. A top gathering of generals and admirals heard praise and criticism from the commander-in-chief today.
President Trump vowed to reawaken the military's warrior spirit, beginning with the deployments in American cities.
We should use some of these dangerous cities as training grounds for our military, National Guard, but military.
He said Chicago is next. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth announced military promotions will no longer be based on race or gender, and new combat fitness tests will include male standards.
The era of politically correct, overly sensitive, don't hurt anyone's feelings leadership ends right now.
Michael Wallace, CBS News.
$50,000 reward has been posted for information leading to the arrest and conviction behind those who were behind the deaths of two Hartford men whose bodies were found in a burning vehicle last year in Oxford. State says the investigation into what happened to 36-year-old David Rivera and 39-year-old Carlos Calderon remains active, but they are not sharing any specifics on any information they have amassed to this point. David's mother is Carmen Muniz.
I just want justice for David and for our family. We need closure. And whoever knows anything, please come forward.
David Rivera's death's been ruled a homicide from a gunshot to the head. Calderon's death also ruled a homicide. His cause of death has not been released. In Meriden, crews are at the scene of a water main break. The break is reported on South Colony Street. They say the road is shut down between Gold and Olive Streets. There's no word on how long it'll take to make the repairs. A city spokesman says the break is contained to that general facility with about a half dozen multifamily homes and two commercial lots impacted. They also say discolored water has been reported as a result of the repairs that are in progress. Might be advisable to avoid that scene for the time being, if at all possible. A couple of hurricanes lurking about in the Atlantic. Imelda reached that status earlier today on the heels of Umberto. Meteorologist Craig Allen.
Imelda is going to take a sharp right-hand turn, sort of being pulled by the circulation of Umberto, and will then head on out to sea. But this time, the track is going to be closer to the island of Bermuda. So a hurricane watch is currently in effect.
WTIC News Time is 3:04 from the WTIC 24-hour traffic network. Should be wrapping up the road work around here the next half hour or so. We still have some work on Avon Mountain eastbound side until 3:30. That's in the right lane. Be aware of that. 691 down in Meriden, between westbound, that is, between exits 1B and 2A. That's left lane repair project. 84 west in Farmington from 38 to 33. Expect various lane closures there for another half hour or so. And again, that area we told you about earlier, South Colony Street in Meriden, between Gold and Olive Streets is shut down due to a water main break. Bob Cox is in with the WTIC Weather Center forecast.
Dry weather continues out there this afternoon with a mix of sun and clouds. Highs about 75 to 80 degrees. Sundown at 6:34 this evening. It'll become mostly clear and cooler tonight. Lows drop into the 40s to about 50. Tomorrow, the first day of October, will be bright and sunny. Highs holding in the 60s, though, with a bit of a northerly breeze at 10 to 15 miles per hour and some higher gusts. Clear and chilly Wednesday night, lows between 38 and 48. Thursday looks mostly sunny with highs again holding in the 60s. Should stay mostly sunny Friday, the high in the upper 60s and low 70s. And it warms up over the weekend. It looks sunny both days, the high near 80 Saturday, low 80s Sunday. I'm meteorologist Bob Cox in the WTIC Weather Center.
Markets are mixed so far this Tuesday. The Dow is off 14, the Nasdaq's down 7, S&P is up 8 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Life unfolds in ways you can never quite expect. A divorce, a death in the family, a personal injury. Each time you are left searching for someone new to trust. But what if you had a full-service law firm that knows you and a firm that can represent all your legal needs? With BPS Lawyers, you get more than a lawyer. You get a full-service law firm. Visit bpslawyers.com. BPS Lawyers, your lawyers for life. Proud full-service law partner of Yukon Athletics. Nick Payne-Dearest is responsible for the content of this ad.
Hi, Dave Berger from Modern Plumbing Supply. Over the years, the bathroom has gone by many names. The French called it the Smelly House. The Egyptians, the House of Horrors. If either of these describe your bathroom, well then it's time to visit Modern Plumbing Supply. Let our seasoned staff assist you in selecting the perfect items to transform your bathroom into your own personal oasis. Now, doesn't that sound much better? Modern Plumbing Supply on the Berlin Turnpike in Berlin.
Great design with you in mind. Modern Plumbing Supply.
Are you tired of rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-296-1251. 800-296-1251. That's 800-296-1251. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
Reese on the radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
I love this chat room. It's absolutely brilliant because, you know, and for those of you who do not understand the purpose of the chat room, it's because after being here for 3 years at WTIC and working here and, of course, being on our sister station in Buffalo, WBEN, and, of course, a host of others. The one thing that often repeats itself are people saying to me, even when I go out and I do events, like when I meet with people, they always say, hey, I don't call in, but I listen all the time. Or, hey, man, I'd love to call in, but I can't because I'm at my office. So that's why we implemented the chat room. Because if you are listening and Reese says something that you know you just can't help yourself, you just I got to chime in. And this is an opportunity for your voice to be heard. We don't get to everybody, just like we don't get to every phone call. But that's the reason for the chat room, is to make sure that when you are just stewing in something that Reese on the Radio says, you get an opportunity to say something. And I love it. So one chat room says, and I have three of them going on. One says... Now, I wish this person was an avid or regular listener of Reese on the Radio. It is clear this person is not. Cicero is his name, and he writes this. Cannot wait to hear your spin on Trump's use of black jobs. I have no intention of spinning what Donald Trump said. I stand by exactly what Donald Trump said. I stand by his statement, black jobs. They are taking black jobs. When he was talking about immigration, yeah, I stand by it. I agree with him, and he's 100% right that they are taking black jobs. He was right, and it's a fact. Why is it a fact? Because in 2018, in an interview with Van Jones, the other messiah of the black community, Jay-Z, a.k.a. Sean Carter, was in an hour-long conversation with Van Jones talking about the exact same thing, black jobs, and talking about the importance of black jobs, jobs for black people so they can get hired. And by the way, if there is no such thing as black jobs, what's DEI for? What's affirmative action for? Aren't those black jobs? They're to ensure that black people get hired. So they are jobs designated to black people, AKA black jobs. What's the confusion? Now, I know, again, Cicero, you're new, but you got to get out of that silly little echo chamber that you're in. But welcome to the show. We appreciate you being here. We do, from the bottom of my heart. Tell your friends, especially those people living in the, I don't know, the blackosphere. I think that's what it's called. I'm not familiar with it. I would never, ever roam in that place at night. Just a little hate for you there. Anyway, let's get to some news. It looks like Barack Hussein Obama has found a way to cost taxpayers even after his presidency, at least in Chicago. The former president's library is running into some snags. Aside from being an ugly structure, the library is running out of money. The project originally was supposed to cost $450 million. By the way, we told you it was going to be $1 billion years ago. And it looks like it's going to more than double that, according to reports. And they're going to push that cost onto taxpayers because the endowment that was supposed to go to the library, well, so far they've only given up about $2 million. The rest of the money hasn't been there. And that monstrosity is still going up. In fact, they expect it to go up as early as spring of 2026. But the sad part is that this structure has been in the making since 2021. And I've got one question. Is anyone even going to care once this thing is built? I mean, the people of Chicago hate it already, and it isn't even finished. People are saying that it looks like, a lot of people say it just looks awful. Really, they said it looks like a prison. It's like the ugliest structure. If you haven't seen it, go look it up online. I have no particular opinion on it. I mean, it just looks like a really badly designed building. I feel like there's going to be a lot of elevator problems in it. Just in my view, I feel like it. Zoran Mamdani may be Mamdoomy for Democrats. Longtime press secretary to Jill Biden, Michael LaRosa, said on Monday that the Democrats' party's association with the far-left candidates, like Assemblyman Zoran Mamdani, could cost them critical ground in 2026. I wonder who told you that. Wasn't that me? I think that was me. He was appearing on The Record with Greta Van Susteren alongside CPAC chair Matt Schlapp. They were having a discussion about Democrats and their association with Mamdani. It went like this.
The point is that they haven't even all endorsed him yet. And this idea before this all-important midterm that the Democratic Party will embrace Marxism so clearly, I think they see the downside of that.
I've been concerned about the same thing. I think Mamdani could be a major noose around our necks going into an election year because Republicans are going to tie every Democrat, no matter what district you're from, no matter how conservative or moderate you are, to the party of Mamdani. And
can I give you an example?
Yeah, and he's right. This is a Democrat he understands the writing on the wall. If Mamdani does win and the Democrats can't endorse him, they won't endorse him. We're looking at just over a month till Election Day. Mamdani wins in a landslide without the endorsement of folks like Hakeem Jeffries or Chuck Schumer, who are going to have to embrace him should he win. People are going to tie him to him no matter what. You know, and I don't, to be honest with you, I don't know what the holdup is for Hakeem Jeffries or Chuck Schumer. Their names are already mud, but we'll get into that later on. Over 100,000 federal workers are expected to quit today. I haven't heard any word about it yet, but maybe John Silva will tell us at the top of the hour. Last week, the Office of Personnel Management reportedly sent resignations and reductions in force should Congress fail to approve appropriations, according to the New York Post. Agencies were told to begin drafting separation and reduction in force plans targeting non-essential positions. So they're given an opportunity to quit their job or be fired, but they're expecting most of them, at least 100,000, to quit their job. They sent out this order not too long ago, and some 75,000 people decided to quit their government jobs. And thankfully, I will just say, hey, the downsizing of government, can you say this is what I voted for? Yes. Yes, for those people who are wondering, like, what's her name? Ariana Grande? Are you happy now? Yes, we are happy, Jean Bonnet. How are you? As I said yesterday. And last but not least, Hakeem Jeffries is a tough guy now. I cannot believe it, but it took him almost 5 minutes to say one sentence to the President of the United States.
Mr. President, the next time you have something to say about me.
Pause.
Don't
Pause.
cop out
Pause.
through a racist
Pause.
and fake
Pause.
AI video. When I'm back in the Oval Office, say it to my face. Say it to my face.
Now, who believes that Donald Trump isn't going to say it to his face? And what exactly does he want Donald Trump to say to his face? Well, if you haven't heard it, this is what Hakeem Jeffries, and it looks like every Democrat and news media, but then again, I repeat myself, seems to be up in arms about.
Look, guys, there's no way to sugarcoat it. Nobody likes Democrats anymore. We have no voters left because of all of our woke trans bullshit. Not even black people want to vote for us anymore. Even Latinos hate us. So we need new voters. And if we give all these illegal aliens free health care, we might be able to get them on our side so they can vote for us. They can't even speak English, so they won't realize we're just a bunch of woke pieces of shit, you know? At least for a while, until they learn English and they realize they hate us too.
So the video shows Hakeem Jeffries in a sombrero with a mustache. And of course, everybody in the Democrat Party and the news media, but I repeat myself, is angered by it, calling it racist and bigoted, which led to Hakeem Jeffries saying, if you got something to say it to my face. Does anybody believe that Donald Trump won't say something to Hakeem Jeffries' face? Does anybody think that he won't accept that challenge? That when he comes back into the Oval Office, that he won't look him right in the eye and say, I understand you want me to say something to your face. Does anybody not know this guy? Hakeem, you new here. You just showed up? What's wrong with you? It's an interesting point of view to have. Let's go to the phones, 860-522-WTIC. What's going on, Mike?
That's something to look forward to.
I couldn't agree more.
I'm telling you, I want to see that. I haven't been tuning in because I retired in July, but I'm going to get back to work, and I'm out laying in the backyard, and I was thinking about all the critical duties of the governor of the state of Connecticut. What the hell does he do? He doesn't make any decisions. He's got department heads. That's the yin yang. He doesn't have to make it. The governor's proclamation. We're going to have flags sit at half staff.
What do you think?
What does he do all day?
What do you think of Lamont's probability of running again? He's got the wind at his back. He's got, like, I think it's 58% in some recent polling. Again, nobody believes that for some odd reason. No one is believing that he has a 58% polling. He's being polling at 58%. But with that, do you think he'll run again?
I hope not. But even you could have, you got departments in the state of Connecticut that are dysfunctional, and he won't intercede and go in there and straighten things out. I think he just pushes it aside until it gets so bad where he has to step in.
Yeah, I think. Look, I think at this point, how old is Lamont now? 71.
I don't know.
I think he's up there. I think he's up there. If I were him, look, he's got a legacy and got a great approval rating. Let these young guys hash it out. I don't think he's really enthusiastic about doing this anymore.
you don't have to be super motivated, but if I was a governor, I wouldn't spend much time in that office other than paperwork. I'd be out checking agencies and daily talk to department heads and give press conferences like Trump. There's never been a president more open than Donald Trump.
Yeah, we definitely know that about Lamont. He's really not that transparent. He's a very...
No, he's not. He just kind of wings it. Like he'll hear somebody give him an idea. Oh yeah, that's great. That's a good idea.
He doesn't appear to be very prepared for public statements, or even sort of like challenges to his ideas regularly. But you know what? That's what are you going to do? Thank you, Mike. I appreciate you, man. Let me get to Dave is in Ellington. Hello, Dave.
Let me tell you something. Lamont's the worst governor we ever had. The guy came from money. He's got money. He knows he has money. And he just sits here and says, yeah, that's a good idea. Look at Larson. Oh, I want to take $2 billion out of the rainy day fund just in case the government shuts down so we can cover everybody's problems.
Listen,
for real,
listen, that is because, and I look at these guys every day, it doesn't matter what Republicans say in Connecticut, no matter how many press conferences they put out as they oppose these Democrats, these folks know that they are ruling with an iron fist. They're absolutely,
let me tell you something.
Nobody's pushing back on them.
The dishwasher at a pizza place for $3 an hour, but I got paid cash under the table.
I remember those days working under the table, my friend. Remember how cool we thought it was that we would just get paid?
Cool.
We were like, what the rest of those slubs filling out W-2s?
It's like now you go to McDonald's. Oh, if you're a shift leader, you can make $19 an hour. You're paying me $19 an hour to work at McDonald's? And you wonder why 30-year-old people work there?
Yeah, exactly what I was talking about. That's what these guys, it's funny. It's one of those things where I don't understand it. Why are 30-year-olds in an entry-level position?
How long can corporations like McDonald's and Burger King sustain the fact that you're paying, maybe a 20-year-old, 22-year-old kid $19 an hour? You wonder why people that are 30 years old that can't find a job in their profession go there? Because you're making $20 an hour.
Yeah. And it only, what the worst part is that it's only going to destroy those small businesses. And what's the crazy part is that people forget that every McDonald's, even if there are a few of them, these are small business owners. This is a franchisee owned by one guy who in essence wanted to start a business.
At a pizza place nowadays to do dishes, I expect the guy to pay me $15 an hour.
Yeah, again, doesn't make any sense, but that's where we are, sir. Thanks, Dave. Let's go to Wall Street Joe. What's up, buddy?
Yeah, hi. I'd like to cover two major issues, if you'll allow me.
Oh, sure. I got 2 minutes. I'm kidding. Go ahead. What do you got? Joe? All right. Looks like I lost him. Let's go with Fred in Middletown. Hello, Fred.
Hey, I want to harken back to the previous hour in a little discourse with someone in the ever-loving chat room. They said something about why would Josh Elliott go on a conspiracy show. Well, I checked the records, and since this millennium, WTIC stands for We Traffic in Conspiracy. Thank you. And
No. You are not getting away with that because that was perfect, and I love it. Now I have a promo for Whack Job Wednesday.
There you go. Yeah, no, that's definitely good material. I think I've said it before, WDRC stands for two things. We do Republican conversation, but we don't really care.
Poor guys.
Real quick, a question for Josh. Two things like sticky wickets. What do we do about the Connecticut Sun? Should we use the pension to keep them here?
No,
and,
I don't think he wants to do that at all.
Well, it's just a sticky one to throw at him. And
Yeah.
who owns Jed Lamont? He's a billionaire, not a millionaire.
Well, that's
Who
what
the
I
hell
said.
bought
Yes. Well, that was my point. He said that, he says at the end of that clip, that that he wants to tell Connecticut that we're not bought and paid for.
And not afraid or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Hedging his bets, yeah.
It's a great, again, it's a great point. And I like I said, I want to know, are you throwing jabs at Lamont? And, that's, look, for him in Connecticut, if he really wants to gain some ground, if you want to, ruffle some feathers, that's a way to do it. You call in the guy bought. So let's get to the bottom of that.
Yeah, Pirates shot across the bow.
Yeah,
and then he's waiting to see how Mondani goes. Yeah.
Well, that's my theory. That's not him. Listen, that's my theory, which I'm going to ask him about tomorrow, is whether or not he's wants to see, hey, let's find out if the water is warm. If Mondani does well, hell, I can campaign with the guy and use that momentum.
Question. Do you think you're going to take calls with him?
No, no. It'll turn into, you kidding me? It'll go mayhem. It'll go mayhem.
No, you could get some calm, cool, collect.
I've already told people if you want to send me, I was going to establish to everyone, if you want to send me questions to ask him, I will pick out at least 3 of the coolest ones or the great ones, and I will pick them. In fact, somebody just sent me a text message and said, so yeah, if you want to, send them to me, and I will ask Josh. I can't guarantee all of them, but if you give me some good ones, I'll go through them.
For Mark from West Hartford, though. All right.
Oh, you kidding me? Thank you, man. Yeah, that would. I don't want it to go haywire. I want to get to my points. I want to get to exactly what's going on. I want to get to his platform, and I want him to answer for all of it. I want to keep him here as long as I possibly can. And yeah, could it get hairy? Yeah, I have an old saying, you want to make God laugh, make plans. So I'm not making any plans. I'm just waiting to see how it goes. And thankfully, we get the opportunity. So we'll be back. More news and more views when we return. Stand by. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
The dog days of summer are fading quickly. Hurry to get this limited-time preseason offer. Call ALO Home Services today and take advantage of their $99 heating system check special. Prevent costly and inconvenient breakdowns backed by a worry-free no-breakdown guarantee. Call, click, or text today and say hello, ALO, licensed for safety. HIC 628926, P10277688, S10413487, D10401465, S33086999, SM3004646, E118564.
Hi, it's Morgan Cunningham, and you may be most used to hearing me during the week delivering news updates. You know the whole Morgan Cunningham WTIC 1080 news thing. But did you know that on Saturdays after 2 o'clock, I host Spotlight Connecticut? That's my talk show where I find all kinds of different people, places, things involving Connecticut and put them in 1 hour long-form interview conversation format for you to learn something new about Connecticut, newsmakers that you generally would not hear during the week on WTIC because they're not the run-of-the-mill usual newsmakers, but that doesn't mean that they can't make news the same. Check me out Saturday afternoons at 2 on WTIC News Talk 1080, WTIC.com, and on the Odyssey, iHeart, and TuneIn apps.
More than a few of our patients have talked to me about their first time, but it's not the first time you're probably thinking about. It's the first time that erectile dysfunction ruined the moment. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, and if you're over 50, it's likely that you've had that first time yourself. But the good news is that if you're like most men, that first time can be the last time that ED impacts your sex life. At Northeast Men's Health, we're experts in treating ED. We've treated tens of thousands of men using protocols with success rates well over 90%. And those treatments, in most cases, have made sex great again for both them and their partners. You could even find that you're performing like you haven't in years. So if ED has been affecting your intimacy, it's time to make the last time that happens the last time that happens. For just $99, you'll receive blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956. That's 800-930-5956 or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the Northeast to serve you. Northeast Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
And now, a WTIC news update.
3:30, good afternoon. I'm John Silva. The clock's ticking toward a government shutdown. That could be the case, barring an 11th hour miracle. Democrats say Republicans are refusing to negotiate over a standoff, over health care, but Republicans are blaming Democrats for the situation they find themselves in. President Trump and Secretary Pete Hegseth addressed top military brass in Virginia today. Trump wants American cities to be used as training grounds for the armed forces. Hegseth announced new directives for troops that include gender-neutral or male-level standards for physical fitness. State Office of Inspector General has determined an officer-involved shooting of a suspect last year in New Haven was justified. The IG says the officers shot and killed Jabrell Connolly last September 19th as they investigated him for an outstanding warrant. Connolly fired a shot through a window. As officers attempted to arrest him, the officers returned fire, and that's when Connolly died. Naugatuck police have arrested a teen in connection with a weekend attempted robbery. Larry Mason's 18. They say he allegedly went to a multi-family residence on Hill Street last Saturday night to steal cash from a resident who lived there. A struggle ensued, during which Mason fired a shot from a gun they say he was holding. There were no injuries. State's offering $50,000 to anyone with information that leads to an arrest and conviction in the deaths of two men whose bodies were found in a burning vehicle in Oxford last year. State didn't share any more about the investigation into whatever happened that day to 36-year-old David Rivera and 39-year-old Carlos Calderon. And baseball wildcard playoffs have begun. The Tigers and Guardians currently doing battle in Cleveland, with Detroit leading 2-1. San Diego and the Cubs just underway at Wrigley. The Reds take on the Dodgers tonight at Chavez Ravine. And the Red Sox play the Yankees at the stadium. We take air with the pregame here, 5:08, with first pitch set for 6:08 on the radio. WTIC News Time, 3:32. Here's the forecast.
Nice and warm for the remainder of this afternoon. The mixture of clouds and sunshine, low humidity, and a high temperature not far from 80 degrees. Tonight, partly cloudy and breezy. And turning cooler, tonight's low 47. Breezy, cooler weather tomorrow. Plenty of sunshine with a high of 67. Clear and chilly tomorrow night, low 43. Upper 30s across some outlying areas. Thursday, bright and sunny in the morning, a mix of sun and high clouds. Thursday afternoon, cool with a high temperature of 65. Friday looks nice, a good deal of sunshine. Turning warmer Friday afternoon with a high up to 73 degrees. The trend of warmer weather will continue over the weekend. Plenty of sunshine on Saturday and afternoon, high up to 81 degrees. Sunday, mostly sunny, very warm for this time of year. Sunday's high up to 83. Warm weather will continue on Monday with some sunshine and highs again in the 80s. No chance of rain over the next several days. This is meteorologist Bob Larson in the WTIC Weather Center.
Markets have inched their way up a half hour before the close on Wall Street. The Dow's ahead 48, Nasdaq's up 37, and the S&P is up 19 points. I'm John Silva. WTIC 1080 News.
Picture this. You're eating good food, enjoying a cocktail, and losing weight. That's Awaken 180, a program that fits into your lifestyle with coaches who support you every step of the way. Visit awaken180weightloss.com to kickstart your transformation.
Protect your liver and give it the support it deserves by making Active Liver from New Nordic a part of your daily wellness routine. Find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS, Meijer Grocery, ShopRite, or online at Amazon or at newnordicusa.com.
He's a world arm wrestling champion, Michael Todd.
I'm globally known as Monster Michael Todd. I'm 52 years old. I've won 23 world titles and 36 national titles.
This tough guy never backs down, but a horrible bicep injury almost ended his career. Enter QC Kinetics and life-changing regenerative treatments.
Most people thinking that I'd never be able to compete again. Within 8 months, I became number 5 overall in the world. Now I'm marching towards that number 1 spot.
So how did he do it?
I'm a big regenerative medicine kind of guy. Once I found out about QC Kinetics, I wanted to try their protocol.
Those treatments use a patient's own orthobiologics concentrated and placed into the troubled area to help heal and restore the damage. No scalpels or harmful meds, just long-term relief.
QC Kinetics definitely have helped me be able to live this dream and be able to do what I want to do and continue to do it for a lot more years.
When the others say, time for surgery, you're finished. Not so fast. Call QC Kinetics. The consultation's totally free.
Call QC Kinetics, 860-440-PAIN. That's 860-440-PAIN. 860-440-PAIN.
Hello, it's Lena Dunham. I host a podcast called The C Word with my dearest friend and historian of bad behavior, Alyssa Bennett.
What is up?
It's a chat show about women whose society is called crazy.
We're going to be rediscovering the stories of women's society dismissed by calling them mad, sad, or just plain bad.
Listen to and follow The C Word with Lena Dunham and Alyssa Bennett. Available now wherever you get your podcasts.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Hi, I'm Joe with SimpleSaleUSA.com, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 203-896-4000. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and more importantly, anywhere in Connecticut. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trash and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying junk houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and even foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 203-896-4000. That's 203-896-4000. 203-896-4000.
Comcast Business can help turn your small business into a connected, secure, modern business. It's how retailers become constantly connecting must-visit shops. How restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How healthcare offices become the data-protecting caregivers that we all depend on. And how wealth management firms become cyber-securing guardians of your information. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, and Wi-Fi backup, your business can stay connected and get threat-ready with Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get started with our reliable business internet. Plus, stay connected when you add Wi-Fi backup for just $35 a month and ask about a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Call today. Restrictions apply. Wireless Connect requires business internet for additional monthly charge. Taxes and other fees extra. Prepaid card offer ends 11/16/25.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer. Ever wonder
Yes,
why Big
sir.
Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting
Call
used.
1-888-FREEDOM. Visit consumercellular.com/fax or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Hey, this is Governor Ned Lamont. I'm giving a salute to the broadcaster at 100. Happy birthday, WTIC News, Talk 1080.
Oakley Dokley. Reese on the radio. News Talk 1080. We'll get to your phones in a little bit. But someone wrote something in the chat room, and this is a conversation that relates to our top story about Josh Elliott and his gubernatorial campaign, which I know that he and many like him believe is a good cause campaign, taking care of those who are less fortunate, who have had life hit them pretty hard, opportunities miss them for whatever reason. But I love the idea that people decide what people are worth and what they are owed. having never met them. And to read something in the chat room is a perfect example. Let me read it. The funny thing that no one complains about is the athlete, the entertainer, or the CEO making more than they are worth. Now, you have to consider the person who writes that. They are not alone. Many people say things like that. They can see the straw man, whomever it may be, the CEO, as he puts it, the entertainer, or the athlete, making more than they are worth, he writes. Who sets that metric? Does he? Do you? Does anyone set the metric other than the person paying them that money? What is more than they're worth? Why do you, or anybody else for that matter, get to determine what someone is worth? Why does anyone? And when you can make that the basis of your debate, which is exactly what this campaign is about, Josh Elliott, and the same goes for Ned Lamont. No, they're not going to take him off the hook either. A billionaire can determine, I mean, literally, like in the same breath, can determine what other people deserve while he is a billionaire, while he has at his disposal millions of dollars, can then look at other people and say, I don't think it's fair for this, that, and a third. Fairness is subjective. Why do you get to determine what's fair? And what makes you the superior in that discussion? I can't look at an athlete and say he's worth the $10 million that the team is paying him. How can I do that? Now, I can get angry about it when he doesn't perform. I can say, hey, when contract negotiations are over, he can't ask for that money again because he sucks, and they should get rid of him or renegotiate. Hey, look, you're not producing. Should I really be paying you $10 million a year if you haven't done this, that, and the third? Or perhaps I should have a contract that has conditions on it. I will pay you $10 million a year as long as you maintain this status quo. But again, who should be able to determine what they get? It should be the employer, shouldn't it? And then that's the rub. Because what this individual is saying here is that an employer at a Pizza Hut or just at some, run-of-the-mill pizzeria, he should not be able to determine what that employee is paid. They should. They can go by and look at the athlete and say, nah, he doesn't deserve $10 million, but I'll tell you how much this average schmo who delivers pizza, I'm going to determine what he should be paid. And you know what they never, ever seem to answer? I say this all the time. Why not $30 an hour? You know what? The minimum wage, that's just too small. You can't afford to take care of yourself with just $20 an hour. Why not make it 30? Let's make it 50. Karen, what was it? Karen Bass in Los Angeles, or at least one of those women, they wanted to make the minimum wage some $50 an hour. Hell, why not? Why not everybody make $50 an hour? Why won't they ever call for that? They never do. They seem to put a cap on it. You know why? Because, again, they don't think you're worth it. But no one turns around and looks at the person and says, who the hell made you the authority of what I'm worth? Why do you get to decide? Why do you get to be the noble one? Where are your credentials that say this CEO shouldn't get this, that, or the third? It's not so much about you're a nobody and in a grand scheme of things, you shouldn't have any say. I'm just trying to figure out why do you get to determine it? And why do you have the audacity to share it? That's the part that I don't get. That people have the audacity to say what people are worth. It's something I would never think to say. Never. I would tell them based upon their performance whether or not they should be in the job. I could tell them based upon their ideas whether or not they should be hired. That I can do. That I can do in a heartbeat. If I can look at their ideas, if they lay their ideas out on me, remember, I'm supposed to be the hiring guy. I'm supposed to be the guy responsible for giving you the shot. So I can look at you and say, no offense there, Josh. These ideas suck. I don't think we're going to hire you. We're going to go in another direction. That's the role. It's that simple. It's that simple. The fact that you can go from one industry to another, or even in the same industry, here, there, or anywhere, and get, somebody's in the chat room talking about chefs. Craig's talking about a chef. I look at this and I go, I got a chef here and I got a chef there. This chef makes, $80 an hour. And this chef over here makes $50 an hour. Who am I to say that they both should make 50 or they both should make 80? Why? Based on what? Fairness? I had to explain this to a couple of young kids who didn't get it. And when you explain it to them in their own terms, this to show you how you can destroy this nonsense, because it's unfortunate that it's usually kids in the inner city or grew up in the inner city or in many cases grew up poor. They have taken it upon themselves to make claims like this on what people are worth. And that comes from a life having owned nothing and never having to make a decision at that level. It's easy on your perch to say what people are worth. But I remember saying this to a bunch of kids in the ghetto, where I said, should the drug dealer next door to you make the same amount of money that you do? And he goes, what? I go, come on, I'm going to give you an example. You're on the 3rd floor, another drug dealer's on the 2nd floor. People travel to the 3rd floor to come to you more often, and you make about $150 a day. The drug dealer underneath you, he's never home. He's out partying, doing whatever, so the drug addict can never really get a hold of him. He's making about $75 a day. In your socialist world, you should have to give him part of your pay so that both of you make the same amount. Would you do that? He looked at me and said, hell no. I'm doing all the work. I'm showing up where it needs to be. I would never. No. He's got to do the same, put on the same amount of work that I do. And then he stopped and went, oh. I always say you have to speak to people where they are. Grab an interest that they have and then explain it to them based on that interest. And they immediately come around. The kid turned around, looked at me and went, okay, now it makes sense to me. That drug dealer was voting Republican by the next election. Just doing my part, ladies and gentlemen, just doing my part. But you can, you can reach some of these people. You can. As long as they get out of their own way and they stop telling the rest of us what everyone deserves. And that's from the wealthiest to the poorest of us. Sitting on a perch, deciding for everyone what they should have and what they shouldn't have. That's where politics lost its way. It became less about representing the people and became more about deciding for them what was good for them. Making their job sort of a parenting obligation. Giving people stuff. People started looking at elected officials as the people who gave them things, not the people who did their bidding. That's become commonplace. And let's be honest, fewer people are talking about that today. Or saying, I'm here and I'm elected to do your bidding in Washington or in Hartford or wherever it may be. I'm here to make your life easier by getting out of your way. That's my job when I go to City Hall. That's my job when I go to the Capitol. Instead, they've inverted it and now became, what can I give you and give to you and make your life better? And as I said when I first got to WTIC, when Chris Murphy was doing his walk around Connecticut, I told you what you should tell him when you see him. What can you do for me, Mr. Murphy? Get the hell out of my way would be a good start. Let's take a break. We'll be back. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-284-1238. 800-284-1238. You have nothing to lose, but everything to gain. 800-284-1238.
Some big news. Just before Charlie Kirk died, he issued a stark warning of terrifying dangers and threats ahead for those who stand for truth. Charlie wrote this in his last published work, the foreword for the new book, Pagan Threat. Authored by Pastor Lucas Miles, Charlie said that Pagan Threat could save America. Charlie said you must read, internalize, and share this book. It has the plan to stop the wokeism infecting America. Already a #1 Amazon bestseller, Pagan Threat is available wherever books are sold. Get Pagan Threat free with Newsmax's special offer and save $30. Go online now to paganthreat.com. That's paganthreat.com. Millions are tuning into Newsmax on all major cable systems. They're downloading our free Newsmax app on their smartphones. And they're getting Pagan Threat to see Charlie Kirk's final words. Go today to paganthreat.com. That's paganthreat.com.
Wesley Financial Law Firm and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit information kit. 800-384-9393. That's 800-384-9393.
At California Psychics, we know that sometimes you can wake up thinking,
I don't know if I'm in the right career, or the right relationship.
But whatever your life dilemma, at California Psychics, we'll give you the guidance you need to feel certain about your life choices. And because we do you with the very best, we guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. California Psychics. Call 1-800-PREDICT today and get 20 minutes for just $20.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
I know you said we were coming back, but I just had to get this video that I was trying to get a hold of with Maxine Waters. Do we have? We have time for it. There was a reporter from Lindell TV. Yes, that Lindell. Mark, what's his name? Mark Lindell. Yes, from My Pillow. He's got his own online show or network. Anyway, one of his reporters got a hold of Maxine Waters as we're talking about this government shutdown. And interestingly enough, Maxine Waters, according to them, is admitting that Democrats are forcing a shutdown so they can fund health care for illegals. Let's listen.
Do Democrats want to prioritize the health care of illegal aliens over a government shutdown? Because if the government does shut down, Americans...
Excuse me, stop it right there. We're not prioritizing. What we're doing is saying simply we want to keep the government open and we want to work with the Republicans and have a bipartisan agreement to keep this government open, and health care is at the top of our agenda.
But aren't Democrats demanding health care for illegal aliens?
Democrats are demanding health care for everybody. We want to save lives. We want to make sure that health care is available to those who would die, but having the help of their government.
So you're good with the government shutdown, even if it means giving health care to people who aren't American citizens?
Well, that's what you're pushing on. What you're trying to do is you're standing here And you're trying to make me say that somehow we're going to put non-citizens over Americans. Quit it. Stop it. This is the kind of journalism we don't need.
No, I'm just
You're
asking
divisive.
questions.
No, you're not.
Yeah, no,
You're being divisive. No, please. You don't need to ask that question. You're just trying to get controversy here. You're not going to get it from me. We want to save health care for all people. Thank you.
That sounds like an admission to me. That's what I heard. And it's not like they don't know that. People keep saying, I've done all the research on it. All these folks are talking about, like, no, they don't want health care for illegals. Knock it off. If you're not paying attention, I get it. But let's explain what it is. The only thing that they're asking for is to fund programs state by state by state that's going to be funneled into some form of Medicaid or Medicare for illegals. The state wants the money. They want the state funded, and that money will be funneled into somewhere else. It's just laundered into the thing that they want. Okay? That's it. It's the reason why they're suing the federal government now, William Tong, Gillespie. That's the reason why they're doing all of this. They've openly admitted, while they tell us, no illegals are getting any Medicaid. But yet there are programs statewide that are funding it. That's all. So all of that other nonsense is what it is. We want health care for everybody. Thank you, Maxine Waters. I appreciate that. Now, she'll be forced to go on one of the networks and say that wasn't what she meant, and her words were twisted. She was trying to get me to admit something that I didn't say. Yeah. Yada, yada, yada. We even got, in fact, we just heard that there's some FEMA funds that are not coming into Connecticut, as well as some other funds from the Department of Homeland Security that are not coming to Connecticut. And why? Because they won't comply with ICE. So Connecticut's on the hook. So, of course, William Tong earlier today ran out and filed an emergency lawsuit. Good luck, buddy. Can't wait. Let's get another check, or our first check, of weather and traffic. Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Traffic Center. How we doing, sir? Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday to you, Reese. And if you're heading 91 southbound into Hartford, delays approaching 33 down to 32 IMB, and again down by exit 28. Northbound 91 moving well. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84 tied up approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. 84 eastbound delays. 44 Prospect Oakwood into the tunnel. 291 eastbound slowing as you approach the Bissell Bridge into South Windsor. No problems. 2 eastbound Glastonbury into Marlborough. If you're 9 northbound delays, Harbor Park to the Aragodi Bridge. Again, slow traffic. 32 in Berlin up to 36 in New Britain. If you're traveling on the westbound side of 84, look for delays. 36 Slater Road in New Britain out to 33, the 72 interchange in Plainville. Also 72 westbound slowing from 2 to the 84 West merge in Plainville. If you are traveling into Waterbury, westbound 84, you're running slow from 25A in Waterbury up to the Mixmaster. And 95 southbound delays from 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Nice and warm to the remainder of this afternoon. The mixture of clouds and sunshine, low humidity, and a high temperature not far from 80 degrees tonight. Partly cloudy and breezy. And turning cooler. Tonight's low 47. Breezy, cooler weather tomorrow. Plenty of sunshine with a high of 67. Clear and chilly tomorrow night, low 43. Upper 30s across some outlying areas. Thursday, bright and sunny in the morning, a mix of sun and high clouds. Thursday afternoon, cool with a high temperature of 65. Friday looks nice, a good deal of sunshine, turning warmer Friday afternoon with a high up to 73 degrees. The trend of warmer weather will continue over the weekend. Plenty of sunshine on Saturday and afternoon, high up to 81 degrees. Sunday, mostly sunny, very warm for this time of year. Sunday's high up to 83. Warm weather will continue on Monday with some sunshine and highs again in the 80s. No chance of rain over the next several days. This is meteorologist Bob Larson in the WTIC Weather Center.
WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
4 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Partly sunny skies. Hartford temperature is 78 degrees. Democrats and Republicans appeared to remain in a stalemate over how to keep the government funded to avoid a shutdown set to begin at 12:01 Eastern a.m. on Wednesday. Senate plans to bring up a House-passed bill for another vote at some point today, but few avenues to avoid a shutdown seem viable. Correspondent Erica Brown's on Capitol Hill.
To avert a shutdown, the Senate could pass a Republican measure Tuesday that extends federal funding at its current level until mid-November. But Democrats are demanding the bill include an extension of Affordable Care Act benefits expiring this year and reverses cuts to Medicaid.
Now, a shutdown would impact the 18,000 federal workers based in Connecticut. Essential employees would be asked to continue to work without pay. Others would be furloughed or even laid off. National Representative for the American Federation of Government Employees, District 2, is Tim McLaughlin. He says workers are hurting.
Shutdowns are one thing. We've had multiple shutdowns over the course of the last, couple of decades. But just to add to that pain, now you have the current administration saying they're going to take it out on federal workers. I don't care what kind of business you're in or where you're running. It's completely unacceptable. You don't use federal employees as pawns in your political games.
He says the federal workforce has been thinned out even before the shutdown, putting public safety in jeopardy. The state inspector general has issued a report on an officer-involved fatal shooting in New Haven last year. The report finds 3 police officers, one of whom was a state police sergeant, were justified in using deadly force on Jabril Conley. It was September 19th of last year when they attempted to arrest Conley on an outstanding warrant stemming from robbery and firearms charges. Task force officers were informed that Conley was at a car wash on L.T. Grosso Boulevard in West Haven that day and attempted to block him in with their vehicles. 3 officers approached, attempting to remove Conley from the vehicle. Conley fired through the driver's side window, after which the 3 officers returned fire. Report states the officers believed their lives were in jeopardy and used force to protect themselves. $50,000 reward's been posted for information regarding the deaths of 2 Hartford men whose bodies were found in a burning vehicle in Oxford last year. State says the investigation into what happened to 36-year-old David Rivera and 39-year-old Carlos Calderon remains active, but they're not sharing any specifics on any evidence they've amassed to this point. David's mother is Carmen Muniz.
I just want justice for David and from our family. We need closure. And whoever knows anything, please come forward.
Rivera's death ruled a homicide from a gunshot wound. Calderon's death was also ruled a homicide. Cause of death, though, not been released. In Meriden, crews continue to work on a water main break. It's reported at South Colony Streets. Police say the road is currently shut between Gold and Olive. No word yet on how long it'll take to make the repairs. It'd be advisable probably to stay away from that area for the time being. And President Trump says Pfizer has agreed to lower cost of some prescription drugs, with the White House unveiling a direct-to-consumer website for prescription drug prices.
Pfizer is agreeing to provide some of their most popular current medications to all consumers at heavily discounted prices of anywhere between 50 and even 100%.
Wall Street, the Dow up 81 points, NASDAQ up 68, S&P is up 27 points. Playoff baseball is underway, and the Tigers beat the Guardians in Cleveland 2-1 in that wild card series. Detroit leads 1-0. In about an hour, we will have the pregame ahead of the Yankees and the Red Sox at the stadium. 6:08 is first pitch for Game 1 of that wild card series. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at VaxAssist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
It's Reese on the radio. And don't say we didn't warn you on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Savory, flavory, bagel, deli, and bakery. Between rounds.
Congratulations goes to Linda L. in Walcott. Of course, she is our winner today of the Between Rounds dozen bagels a month for 6 months, courtesy of Between Rounds, the Bagel Bakery and Sandwich Cafe, located in South Windsor, Vernon, and Manchester. If you'd like to win, you got to go to reeseontheradio.com. That's REESE on the radio.com. And put in all of your information. You must live in the state of Connecticut. I noticed that some other states have been applying. Sorry, you got to live in the state of Connecticut. And you cannot have won within the last 6 months from today. Go to reeseontheradio.com, REESE on the radio.com. You guys know that we've been talking about Newtown the last couple of days, last week, in fact. And there has been a small development. For those of you who are new to the story, there is a group of women who are, let's just say in the words of people who have had to encounter them, who are bullying residents of the town of Newtown, businesses and just ordinary citizens alike, screaming and hollering about diversity, equity, and inclusion, racism, and all this other stuff. Well, it's gotten to the point where individuals have been posting online very hateful things, not just about racism as they see it in Newtown, but even attacking parents' children online. And that has now been addressed by the superintendent in Newtown. She writes this: in recent weeks, I've also heard from staff and community members regarding public communications by employees, especially around freedom of speech and social media. I want to take this opportunity to remind all district employees to be familiar with Policy 4118, freedom of speech and media, including social media. This policy reflects the board's respect for employees' First Amendment rights, but also setting clear expectations for responsible social media use. It is important for all employees to understand that, especially during this tight time of heightened political discord. That while free speech is protected, there are limits, particularly when it comes to maintaining professionalism and the trust of our school community. So hopefully people will take that into consideration. Let's get another check of our weather and traffic. Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Traffic Center. How we doing, sir?
All right, Reese, thank you very much. This traffic report being brought to you by Columbia Implant Center in Manchester. And 91 southbound, look for delays 33 down to 32 IMB. Again, 27 to 28. More slow traffic, 19 in Meriden down to 17 for the Wilbur Cross Parkway. Northbound side of 91 looks real good. Cromwell up into Windsor. If you're traveling 84 westbound, delays approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 46 Sisson Avenue. 84 eastbound sluggish, stop and go. 44 Prospect Oakwood into the tunnel. 2 westbound's a little tight as you merge with 84 West at East Hartford. 291 eastbound slowing from I-91 over to the Bissell Bridge. If you're heading into Middletown, 9 northbound delays Harbor Park up to the Aragoni Bridge. Now, westbound 84 a little tight now as you move by exit 40 up to 39A. In Farmington, another slowdown from 36 Slater Road in Farmington on the Farmington New Britain line out to exit 33. The 72 interchange in Plainville. 72 westbound slowing exit 2 up to the 84 West merge. If you're heading into Waterbury, westbound 84 tied up from 25A up to the Mixmaster. And traveling northbound on the Parkway, you've got delays approaching 46 into the West Rock Tunnel. Southbound on the Parkway slowing by exit 50 in Hamden. Stuck in traffic again? Don't waste another minute. Columbia Implant Center in Manchester gets you in and out fast, often in just one day. Open 7 days a week. Get your smile back now. Columbia Implant Center. ColumbiaImplantCenter.com. Traffic and weather together on the 8 WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Sunshine, some high clouds, high temperature 80 and partly cloudy tonight. Pretty breezy and cooler. Overnight low down to 47 degrees. Sunday tomorrow, but breezy and cooler, high 67. Thursday is sunny to start. A mix of sun and clouds in the afternoon, again on the cool side. with a high of 65. Right now it is 78 in Newington. It's 77 degrees in Middletown and 79 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Join us this Sunday for Tumalo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and taxes. Tune in to the father-son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch replay from 5 to 6 p.m. Tumalo Financial, retirement planning with integrity on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Protect your liver and give it the support it deserves by making Active Liver from New Nordic a part of your daily wellness routine. Find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS, Meijer Grocery, ShopRite, or online at Amazon or at NewNordicUSA.com.
ProHealth Physicians has proudly been keeping Connecticut healthy for nearly 25 years. ProHealth accepts Husky Medicaid, Medicare, TRICARE, and most major insurances. For trusted local care for your whole family, call 1-855-CT-MD-411 or visit ProHealthMD.com.
We've heard it all before. Change is inevitable. Hi, I'm Sandy Terenzi with the Livian team. Whether you're right-sizing, downsizing, or handling a family estate, we're here to make it easy. Right, Mike?
Exactly. And with change often comes challenges. But with decades of local experience, we know how to price, market, and sell without the stress.
Trust the team Connecticut families have relied on for years. Call 860-855-SOLD today. That's 860-855-SOLD.
That superintendent of Newtown
Sandy Terenzi.
is probably trying to cover their butt to avoid any kind of lawsuit.
Be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Sorry, I'm trying to get details on this story that just came across my wire. Is that yeah, it's real. Holy crap. Okay, so there's a Texas representative, Tony Gonzalez. Her staffer burned to death after dousing herself with gasoline and setting herself ablaze. And here's the story. I guess it just came out 2 hours ago. Staffer for Texas Rep. Tony Gonzalez, who burned to death in her backyard, set herself on fire, according to firefighters. But her family still insists that it was an accident. According to the reports, she doused herself in gasoline in Uvalde. Oh, this was back in September 13th. Okay, I was like, what? I'm like, this just happened? Well, apparently this happened back on September 13th. And these are the reports, I guess, that are coming back based upon her death after this report was. So anyway, Michael A. says, Reese, if you're going to live here, it's pronounced Woolcott or Woolcut. I went through that before. And when people start telling me that I need to pronounce things a certain way, I get a little apprehensive because then I've got to make sure that I'm doing it. And it becomes awkward. Can we just agree to disagree that I'm just going to call it Walcott? You guys should just know that I'm from out of town. Can we just do that? I dealt with that with Haverhill or Haverhill. Still can't pronounce it. I just won't do it. I just won't do it. I won't. It reminds me of the stupid debate in New York between Houston Street and Houston, the town. Well, Houston, the city. Woolcott. Okay. I guess it's just going to be one of those things. Peabody. Yes, that part I know. There's a lot of towns like that. Joe is back. What's up, Wall Street? I'm sorry I couldn't hear you before. What's up?
Yeah, two things about Larson and the school superintendent out in Iowa.
Okay.
And how it relates to Hartford in Connecticut.
Okay.
But anyway, getting back to Larson, I heard it on your newscast a while ago. I tuned into TIC, and they had Larson on your morning show.
Yeah.
And he was very arrogantly saying The Republicans are shutting down the government. And he says they control the presidency, they control the House, and they control the Senate. What's the problem? Give me a break. Well, this is a perfect example of Larson's, disingenuous lying. Didn't the morning host, you would have said to him, well, Congressman Larson, I hate to embarrass you, but you mentioned the Senate. You need 60 votes to pass this, and the Republicans only have 53. They need 7 Democrats. Are you forgetting that, Congressman Larson? And that what epitomizes Larson's whole career, the way he conducts himself. Voted against Lincoln Riley Act. He's all for illegal aliens. If they attack your, family, kill
We know
them.
his.
He
I
doesn't care.
we know his record. Here's the. Let me put it this way, and I think this is the best way to describe Larson and those, even Chuck Schumer or even Hakeem Jeffries for that matter. Everyone knows exactly what the vote count would be to shut down the government. They need 7 Democrats. That's it. And the 7 Democrats, they are holding the line. Now, first of all, I doubt that that's going to be the case come midnight. They are going to decide to keep the government open. Because no matter what Larson said on Brian's show this morning, no matter what they're saying on the national programs, everyone knows. And by the way, they've tried to spin this as best they could. It is inevitable Democrats are going to be held responsible for shutting down the government. And Donald Trump does not care. He doesn't. And they know he doesn't care. That's why he's mocking them with the whole sombrero video. He's
Would
literally...
you like to take a bet on that for the midnight?
Oh, the midnight thing? Yeah, what do you got?
Silver dime. I don't want to be too expensive.
Why not? I can do that. I can do a silver dime. Okay? So, and you're saying, I guess the wager here is you're saying that it will definitely shut down. You don't think that there'll be an 11th hour mea culpa or
not at midnight, because Trump will start firing government workers, which is his right under a shutdown, and they don't have recourse. That's why 100,000 of them resigned today, this week.
Well, do you know what I'm also interested in? And by the way, no, I totally get, because first of all, Donald Trump's going to do that regardless. The reason why I say that Democrats know that that's like they have to give in on this is, one, it isn't a winning strategy for them because their internal polling has already suggested this is going to look bad. But they're already worried about appearing weak. But a government shutdown for them, it almost says, what did we do all the fighting this year about? We were screaming and hollering and protesting all over the country about DOGE cuts. Now the Democrats are going to give Donald Trump license to do the thing that they were fighting against. So it's a contradiction that they cannot avoid. So the Democrats are going to say, hell, you held the line. Government employees or government workers are going to be sent home, especially the non-essential ones. You got what you wanted. And they know it. So what they'll do is they'll say, all right, 11th hour, we'll sign on, and they'll give them the 7, maybe 8 Democrats that they need. And then they'll tell, the folks, we had to do it because we had to save this, that, and the third. That's all.
Well, national radio Sunday evening around 11 o'clock I follow, and they called, John Larson's made national here. Out in Chicago,
yeah,
they've anointed him the Antifa congressman from Connecticut. With the soundbite, his soundbite screaming.
Yes, the one about take off your mask. This is the SS.
He's the Antifa. He's known as the Antifa congressman from Connecticut. Go out to Chicago and all those other points. And then the second thing I wanted to quickly go through, that school superintendent out in Iowa, that legal alien.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you probably know the background. Maybe you're going to do some digging into how it affects Hartford and the superintendents and people in the school systems, here in Connecticut and the cities. But, gee, the guy, student visa in 1999.
Right.
He was okay for 4 years, and then he, blended in. And then he emerges, I guess, a dozen years ago, interviewed, and he was hired as the school superintendent. Now, with ICE, checking everything out, I guess ICE discovered a few weeks ago that he's an illegal. He's a school superintendent, 6-figure salary. It's a town of 30,000 people out in Iowa. So they move in on him. He flees. They catch him with a loaded gun in a cornfield, $30,000 in cash. and who knows what his plans were, and they take him into custody. So on Fox News a few hours ago, I watched it. The lady that's his boss out in Iowa, and you're going to love this, her background. I don't know if you're aware of this.
She is former Michelle Obama's chief of staff.
Absolutely. And she did his interview and said, well, we did a background check on him. And what was that? He had a driver's license and a social security number. That was the background check. So in Connecticut, you give out the driver's licenses and the social security numbers, illegal aliens.
It gets worse. It gets worse than that. It's worse than that. Did you hear the latest story today?
Well, she's running for the Senate seat at Joni Ernst.
Yeah. But did you hear the latest on him? Because you just mentioned a key point in all of this about having a driver's license and social security number, and he's a registered voter, and he has voted.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I failed to mention that. Yeah.
But
yep.
which
I'm
again
sure
shows
he
you.
voted.
Yeah, no. But I'm just saying that his story alone, right? People would isolate that story and just go, okay, that's just an isolated event. Sure, it may be an isolated event, but it does let you know that there are loopholes within Iowa, of all places, where this
that's
guy,
a conservative area.
exactly, that a place like Iowa would allow this guy to get a social security number, a driver's license, and have a voting record in Iowa, in one of the most conservative
and he's
places.
Superintendent for over 10 years.
Exactly. You couldn't, again.
He's making six figures. Reese, are you going to do an investigative thing along the line of how he got through here in Connecticut? Because I'm sure there's more of him in Connecticut.
I'm certain, and in fact, we're doing a exhaustive investigation into voting rolls in Connecticut, because my bottom line is I want to find out exactly how impactful illegal voting is in the state of Connecticut. And I believe in my heart of hearts that the numbers is a staggering, if I'm being conservative here, I believe that there are close to 300,000 illegal votes in the state.
Oh, absolutely, at least.
Yeah.
And, you were doing that study on the students graduating, can't speak English. They're honor students. They flunk out of UConn because they can't speak English.
Exactly.
That's what you get when the school superintendents are illegal aliens.
Yeah, I believe
their own.
I believe society. I believe that number. Again, I think it's north of 300,000, and I think we're gonna find that out. And Bridgeport is just the tip of the iceberg, to be honest.
Thank you, Reed.
You got it, man. Thank you. Yeah, we're working on that. In fact, there's another team that actually has evidence of this that they've been talking about. I've actually had a discussion with them, and as they gather more and more information, we're going to do a whole exhaustive breakdown that we need to get the federal government involved. And I know they got their plate is full, but we're going to get to the bottom of it because, as many people say that, Democrat rule in Connecticut and they're concerned that this will always be a blue state. It isn't that easy. It should not be that easy for this state to be this blue, especially today. It doesn't make sense because a lot of the policies that we're seeing in the state, just the behavior of the state, from environmental to taxes to housing, to the growing number of people who are falling into poverty rates. There's no way that more people, there's a growing number of Democrats in the state. It doesn't make sense. It isn't logical at all. And I look at this stuff every day, and I've looked at the numbers from, the Roland days to where we are today, and it's just inexplicable numbers of folks that just switch, just counties, just flipped like a freaking coin, just flipped on its head. It doesn't make sense. Let me take Christine in Wellington real quick. Hello, Christine.
Oh, geez, quick. Okay, quick. I just want to share something that I think is very important.
Yes, ma'am.
This week, everybody was saying how Charlie Kirk's death, how they were surprised why it hit them so hard. They didn't understand it. But the reason is because we have seen for so long now evil walk, and of hope for us, and it gets shot down. So that's, I think, one of the big reasons. What I want to say is that I was watching some of his debates and stuff, and I was watching some of these kids. When we were growing up, I never saw these kids like this, and they keep saying, oh, they're mentally whatever. It's not mental. They're emotionally messed up because when you, this is my point, when you drop your children off in daycare, that is their first disconnect from you.
Yeah.
Then a lot of them are latchkey kids. They come home, and then when they go off to college, they are ripe to have that full transformation and brainwashing completed. So that's what happens.
Do you think there's
What
a
I'm
degree?
saying is-
Do you think there's a degree of like a sort of survivalism thing, like sort of adapting to the atmosphere that they're in because they don't have that parental guidance?
They
So
should not. These are children. You know, we should take our cues from the animal kingdom. They would never drop their young off with anything. They
Yeah.
are fiercely protective. Daycare started in World War II. It was because women had to go to work. It should
Sure.
never have still kept on going.
Yeah.
And that is what happens that's what happens when you drop your kids off there. And like Charlie Kirk said, maybe live, less than your means.
Sure.
You know, look at things that you can. They did a survey once that it found out that women are actually spending more going out to work than if they stayed home and raised their children. But I'm hoping that swings back, and I want to just give women that are told you're nothing if you stay home and raise your own children, because that is the result. This is what we're looking at, that these kids are rambling out with other people that raised them and not on us. So the daycare, that's not where our little children belong.
Yeah.
So I would just encourage women, and I think it is swinging around. A lot of women are saying, we were sold a bill of goods with this women's lib thing, and believe me,
because they're miserable, Christine. If you look at them, and I even talk about that. I even talk about that with my own wife. She says, that she used to say in the beginning, she goes, I've been with you this long. And she goes, I always feel a lot happier when she didn't have to work anymore. And then she's actually started sort of like viewing conservatism in a different way, in a more favorable way. Now that she's actually experiencing her faith all over again, she is like, she's laughing more. She feels like just happier, just more fulfilled. Now, anything, she's reading the Bible in the morning. I've never seen her this way before. Not that she was a bitter person before, but she even expresses to me she's much happier than she's ever been. And I think you're 100% right. It's like once they get, that bill of goods that were sold about, having to be in charge or being an independent woman, it just made them miserable.
Totally, yeah. And you have to see it. Sometimes the pendulum has to go all the way to the other side. But another great book from boys to read on children of boys is Wild at Heart, How God Created Boys. And that's a really good book for parents to read if they have boys. It's called Wild at Heart.
Thank you.
It's a great little book. And so anyway, thanks for taking my call.
You got it. You got it, Christine. Let's get to another check of weather and traffic. Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, sir.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. If you're heading into downtown Hartford right now, look for some slow traffic now. 91 southbound from 33 down to 32 A and B. Again, a little slowdown again as you move between 23 and 22 in Cromwell, and more slow traffic down by exit 21 in Cromwell. If you are traveling into Middletown, 91 southbound between 20 and 19, the right lane's out with an accident reported there involving two vehicles. Now, if you're on the northbound side of 91, that moves very well as you move Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84 tied up just after 56 Governor Street out to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound slowing about a half mile before 46 Sisson Avenue into the tunnel. 291 through 84 okay. 2 eastbound is moving well. Glastonbury into Marlboro. 2 westbound slowing 1D up to the 84 West merge in East Hartford. 9 northbound into Middletown slows Harbor Park to the Aragoni Bridge. If you're 84 westbound in Farmington, delays from 37 Vinron Road out to exit 33 and the 72 interchange. Traveling into Waterbury, westbound 84 a little slow by 26, again 23 to the Mixmaster in Waterbury. If you're traveling southbound on the Parkway, delays 50 into the West Rock northbound Parkway, slowing approaching 46 into the West Rock Tunnel. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
This report is brought to you by Moderna.
Mnexspike, COVID-19 vaccine mRNA by Moderna, is now available and easy to find near you. To learn more, visit mnexspike.com. That's MNEXSPIKE.com.
WTIC weather.
Warm the rest of this afternoon, but low humidity. Mixture of clouds and sunshine at a high of 80. Partly cloudy tonight and breezy. Becoming noticeably cooler with a low of 47. Breezy, cooler weather tomorrow. Plenty of sunshine. The high is 67. The clear and chilly tomorrow night, low 43. It'll stay cool on Thursday. Sunny in the morning, a mix of sun and high clouds Thursday afternoon. The high temperature is 65 degrees, and nice weather is expected on Friday. I'm meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
4:30, good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Vernon police are charging a funeral director with over 60 counts of fraud. They say Philip Pietras stole prepaid funeral money from customers. Pietras has been accused of doing likewise in several other surrounding towns. In Vernon, he's also charged with over 20 counts of larceny in this case. His bond was set at $800,000. The State Office of Inspector General has issued a report on an officer-involved shooting in West Haven last year. New Haven police were attempting to arrest Jabrell Connolly on an outstanding warrant at a car wash on L&T Grosso Boulevard. They say he fired through the driver's side window of his vehicle. He was hit by return fire from police and died. The IG says the shooting of Connolly was justified. Federal government careening toward a shutdown. Republicans and Democrats can't seem to find any common ground on spending. Democrats want assurances on extending health care tax credits. Republicans say the Dems are to blame if the government does shut down. President Trump reiterated his intention to use the military to fight crime in major American cities today. Trump's remarks in Virginia referred to criminals and immigrants who are in the country illegally. He spoke today after Secretary Pete Hegseth summoned hundreds of U.S. military officials to an in-person meeting to announce directives for troops that include gender-neutral or male-level standards for physical fitness. Outer bands of Hurricane Umberto lashed Bermuda today as it approached the British territory. Newly formed Hurricane Imelda following close behind. Hurricane warning in effect for the island located in the North Atlantic as forecasters warned of dangerous seas, strong winds, and heavy rain. And foliage season is nearly upon us in Connecticut. The Deep Forestry Division says there's already some color in some of the northern sectors of the state. The season lasts into early November. On Wall Street, the markets did finish the day in positive territory. Dow gained 81 points, NASDAQ up 68, S&P was up 27. Wildcard baseball on TIC this afternoon. 5:08 the pregame ahead of the Red Sox and the Yankees at the stadium. Detroit takes a 1-0 lead in their series over the Guardians, 2-1 this afternoon. In progress, it is the Padres and the Cubs at Wrigley, and later tonight at Chavez Ravine, it's the Cincinnati Reds and the Dodgers. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Looking to retire with confidence? Get the answers you need. Tune in to Wall Street Sweeper with Russ Hackman. Sunday mornings at 9:30 on NewsTalk WTIC AM. Strategies, insights, and smart retirement talk. Don't miss it.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. Leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. Leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Stay locked in. Reese on the Radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Got some interesting Hollywood news coming up later on in the program. We'll talk about that. Don't forget as well to go to reasoontheradio.com. That's reasoontheradio.com. Plenty of stuff there. Of course, got the podcast. We've got your comments. We've got stupidest thing. Well, no, we don't have that anymore. We got, what else do we have there? You can go to my Substack. That's right. My Substack is there. And I have to say, I didn't think it would happen, but apparently 100 of you thought to subscribe to Reese on the Radio Substack. Thank you for that. I know it's not a lot, but it's 100. And, I had 0 when I started this. Now it's 100. So I'm happy to say that there's 100. So if you'd like to, go to reasoontheradio.com, go to the Substack section, and subscribe. The article usually comes out every morning on Sunday. The new article is about Charlie Kirk and Che Guevara. Che versus Charlie. It talks about how the campus, the college campus, treated one versus the other. Pretty much breaking down how you hearing all of this stuff about how Charlie Kirk was a racist and he was bigoted. He said things about African-American women when he was talking about Joy Reid, what's her name? Michelle Obama and Kamala Harris, who were bragging about their DEI status and how that has been constructed to say something racist about black women. Speaking of the Newtown Alliance group that's talking about this, saying that what he was saying was racist when indeed Che Guevara wrote things about black folks that were absolutely racist, talking about their filth, talking about their drinking habits, but yet Che was celebrated on college campuses. And the only thing I point out in the article is how hypocritical the college campuses are, college campi is, with that sort of mixing of rhetoric in the two. So I know a lot of people know more about Che than they used to, but not many people talk about how racist Che was, and he is often celebrated. Guys like Jay-Z, Madonna, Johnny Depp, they've worn shirts with Che's picture on it. You guys know it. You've seen it before. Let's get another check of weather and traffic. When we come back, more news, more views. Mark Christopher is in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're heading into Hartford right now, you're on the southbound side of I-91. You're looking slow, 33 down to 32 A&B, and again, 27 to 28. A little slowdown again as you move between 23 and 22 in the Route 9 interchange, and a brief slowdown again, 21 down to 20 in Middletown. Northbound 91 moving well, Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84 tied up 56 Governor Street out to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound delays 46 Sisson Avenue down to the Bulkley Bridge. 291 eastbound's a little slow getting over the Bissell Bridge into South Windsor. 2 westbound slowing 1D up to the 84 West Merge in East Hartford. 9 northbound delays Harbor Park to the Arrogony Bridge, and again from 32 in Berlin up to 34 in New Britain. Westbound side of 84 a little tight, 22 to the Mixmaster in Waterbury. 84 eastbound slowing by the 691 interchange. Westbound 84 is tied up Farmington into Plainville between exit 38 and exit 33. And the 72 interchange, 72 westbound slowing from 2 up to the 84 West Merge. Southbound Parkway delays 50 into the West Rock. Northbound Parkway slowing approaching 46 into the West Rock Tunnel. This traffic report is being not being brought to you by anybody. It's just being brought to you by me. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Sunshine and some high clouds the rest of today. Nice and warm. Low humidity, a high of 80. Partly cloudy tonight, breezy, and becoming cooler. An overnight low of 47. Sunny, breezy and cooler tomorrow, high 67. And clear and chilly tomorrow night, low 43. Thursday looks nice. Sunny in the morning, a mix of sun and clouds in the afternoon. On the cool side, high 65, but trending warmer again, starting with Friday. Right now it is 78 in Farmington, 77 degrees in Marlboro, and 79 at Hartford. I'm meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Protect your liver and give it the support it deserves by making Active Liver from New Nordic a part of your daily wellness routine. Find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS, Meijer Grocery, ShopRite, or online at Amazon or at newnordicusa.com.
Compassionate counsel and proven results. AlairElderLaw.com. AlairElderLaw.com.
Here at ALO, we believe hearing solutions to your main drain problems shouldn't cost a thing. That's why we offer free mainline drain camera inspections and free estimates on sewer line repair or replacement. Contact the trusted professionals at ALO when you call, click, or text today and say, hello, ALO. Call for details. Licensed for safety. HIC 628926, P10277688, S10413487, D10401465, S3308699, SM3004646, E1185643.
If you're still waiting for a sign, at California Psychics, we reject 98% of the psychics who apply to work for us. So we only connect you with the best. That's how we can guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And right now, new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. If that's not a sign, I don't know what is. Dramatic sound effect incoming. Experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to Audion.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
The NAACP calls him, whoa! I don't think I'm allowed to read this. It's Reese on the Radio. Let's just say some people are not fans. On News Talk 1080 WTIC.
So we've talked about Zoran Mamdani ad nauseum. And again, this is a big race coming up in November. And with Eric Adams out, and it pretty much being a three-way race, I'm seeing some people saying that Curtis Sliwa's got a shot. Okay. All right, I could be wrong, folks. I could be wrong. But anyway, with that, I was watching Zoran. As I do, I watch everybody. And he was on MSNBC. And he was asked about concerns in the Jewish community in New York. Should he become the mayor? And he talked about some things that I was paying attention to. I caught on. And this guy is very scripted, well scripted. His answers sometimes ramble, but he is scripted. And I wanted to play one because he wants to increase funding to hate crime prevention, which when I hear that, I always ask, how do you prevent hate? Like, there's no way to. You can't legislate what's in people's hearts. There's just no way to do it. Well, I read it. I have it. And it has nothing to do with the hater. It's got everything to do with the victim. Here's Zoran Mamdani.
And I know that Jewish New Yorkers, like Jewish Americans, are fearful in this moment of anti-Semitism. They're fearful, especially after the horrific attacks that we saw in Washington, D.C. and in Boulder, Colorado. And they're fearful also in conversations that I have heard myself about life in this city. I spoke to a Jewish man in Williamsburg not too many weeks ago who told me about the fact that he now locks the door that he used to close, that he used to keep open for years because of a fear of who may come in. I spoke to a friend of mine after October 7th who told me about going to his synagogue for Shabbat services and hearing the door open behind him and turning around with a tremor going up his back, not knowing who was walking in and what they wished for them.
Now, I had to stop there just so I can sort of misdirect, or so not misdirect, just redirect. He said that line, and I went, wait a minute. You spoke to a Jewish friend immediately after the events of October 7th, as he told you about going to synagogue, and every time the door opened, he would turn around and be fearful on who was coming through that door. Keep that in mind, that this is a guy who just weeks ago, if not months ago, finally said that he was no longer going to support the language of globalize the intifada, and is now saying immediately after the events of October 7th, said he heard these stories about, so why didn't that change his mind? About these folks that were rioting at Columbia University or who were rioting at NYU, who were rioting in the streets of New York. Why didn't he change his mind then when those folks were screaming and hollering and terrorizing Jewish kids, scaring them in downtown Manhattan at Astor Place? Nothing by this guy. I just thought that was odd. Anyway, now, back to him.
And ultimately, it's through the conversations I've had with Jewish New Yorkers that I have developed a proposal for the Department of Community Safety that would include an 800% increase in funding for hate crime prevention programs. Because ultimately, we cannot simply say that anti-Semitism has no home in this city or no place in this country. We have to do more than talk about it. We have to tackle it. And that's what we will do through this funding and through this commitment. We will root out bigotry across the 5 boroughs.
Okay, we're going to root out bigotry throughout the 5 boroughs. So I had to look. What does he mean? Here are some of the examples. Let's just start with hate crime prevention. What is it? A hate crime prevention program refers to a structured initiative, often run by government agencies, nonprofit, community organizations, or law enforcement, designed to reduce the incidence of hate crimes and support affected communities. How do hate crime prevention programs prevent hate crimes? These programs prevent hate crimes through a multifaceted approach that combines education, community engagement, data-driven strategies, and system reforms. Rather than relying solely on enforcement, they aim to deter bias at its source, improving reporting and enhance responses to build safer environments. Okay, not exactly really telling me how, so they give out a little breakdown here. They start with education awareness campaigns. Now, I would think that they were educating the hater, finding the hater. Hey, you, anti-Semite, bigot, part of the Klan, whatever. I'm wondering, like, wouldn't that be the smartest way to stop the hate is to go after the hater? I thought. Education and awareness campaign. Public outreach to raise awareness about hate crimes, their impact and resources for victims, often through schools, media, and community events to reduce prejudice and promote inclusivity. Okay, you can promote inclusivity, but I just want to know how you reach the hater. Their examples are this. DOJ campaigns provide information on identifying intolerance and support services. New York City initiatives educate on prejudice and bigotry via grants for creative projects up to $20,000. So the $20,000 is going to go to groups that are supposed to go out there and identify the haters. Community partnerships and engagements. Building coalitions with diverse groups. Faith organizations, school and businesses, and victim advocates to identify risk, share intelligence, and co-create solutions emphasizing non-law enforcement deterrence like restorative justice. Still not addressing the hater. This seems to be more focused on victims of hate. The Matthew Shepard's, this is one of their examples, by the way. Matthew Shepard's Foundation Stop the Hate Project. Matthew Shepard did not die as a result of hate. We know that now. There's no truth to it. Connects leaders with legal and social services. New York City Partners Against Hate involves over 80 organizations serving vulnerable communities, still dealing with the hated, not the hator. Law enforcement and training coordination. Training officers to recognize, investigate, and report hate crimes effectively, often via task forces or interagency committees to prioritize prevention and victim support. What? Here's their examples. The DOJ's SARA model. What's the SARA model, you ask? No problem. SARA stands for Scanning, Analysis, Response, Assessment. It helps assess local issues like curricula for classrooms or student leaders, not where the haters roam, but possible victims roam. Notice there has not been any addressing of the haters, because remember, it is a hate crime prevention. I think they're admitting something here. Last but not least, monitoring, research, and policy advocacy. This is the last one. Tracking hate groups / extremists, conducting nonpartisan research, and advocating for structural reforms, e.g., better data collection on online hate tools to inform proactive policies. What are their examples? This is it. The Southern Poverty Law Center monitors extremists and trains law enforcement. Stanford proposals include prejudice reduction and political reforms. They don't address hate at all. They don't address haters at all. This is a slush fund. 800% of money, taxpayer money, are going to go to these groups as they stand around pointing out hate. And they will do everything, again, and using probably the worst organization to find out who the haters are. The guys who said Ben Carson was a racist. Black neurosurgeon, a pediatric neurosurgeon, Ben Carson, was put on the Southern Poverty Law Center's bigotry list, as was Charlie Kirk and Turning Point USA, or any conservative for that matter that the groups don't align with. That's what they're calling hate prevention. This seems like a group that is designed, or at least an idea that is designed to punish whom they deem hateful. If you speak up about a particular group, you might be considered a hater. And not only that, they're going to train the police department how to recognize your hate. They're going to train them to go after you. And they're going to be well funded. And they're going to give that money to a bunch of groups. They're going to come back and report to them and say, yeah, we think this group, that group. It's only going to end up targeting conservatives. That's what it's going to be. Yeah, Wendy says it sounds familiar. Sure does. Sounds like some of those folks over in Newtown. Let's go to the phones. Fulton.
What's up, buddy? I have a question. Is the girl that got black?
I'm sorry. Say again. Is the girl who got what? Okay, I think he's on another line. Fulton, is that you?
Yeah, it's here. I'm here. You hear me?
Yes, I can hear you fine. What do you got? You said, is the girl what?
The girl that got blasted in the face, she was on the radio the other day in New York City. Would
Yes.
she fall under that hate crime thing?
She should. And again,
I hope so, right?
that's
that's what that would address, right? Like, I don't know. I guess the assault's not bad, but, the hate crime is, right?
right. And again,
why don't we just do crime?
That's exactly. That's first of all, I was so happy to hear Bill Maher finally agree with me on the hate crime legislation nonsense. It's like, that's in essence, it's funny because someone said in the, Lori said in the chat room that it's the thought police. And that's what it is. Like, they'll call it a hate crime if you don't agree with them or if you have a position or point of view that doesn't align with theirs. And what that woman did.
It's like a protective order.
Yes.
Right? So, like, if you get a protective order, it's a piece of paper. Yeah, there's another charge, but it doesn't do anything. You're still murdered.
Yeah, but you know what?
Murder, right?
I will go this far, Fulton, and I think that's what's going to happen in New York City with this. So let's say that the mayor, I should say, sorry, let's say the mayor has a policy that protects a certain group of people, and you are opposed to that either legislation or protected class or protective class legislation. Someone will consider you a hate monger in that, and then they will find ways to punish you as if you are committing a hate crime. And I think that that's what we're going to see happen, is that somebody will express dismay with someone who is considered a protected class, and this mayor will find a way to punish you for it. Because if they're finding new ways to identify hate, what do they mean by that?
So isn't this happening in the UK right now?
That is exactly
we're on
right.
We're on a slippery slope here.
It is the European model.
I'd love people to know that. Does people know that Mondavi, he's a millionaire. Like, his family is from Uganda. They have servants. Like, they don't make $30 an hour. They're incompetent. Like, maybe the guys should work at home first and say, hey, everybody gets a raise and livable wage in Uganda. I don't know.
Such a good. No, I'm sorry that I'm laughing, but you make such a good point.
Don't worry about it.
No, because it's literally, I totally forgot about that. It's like, no one is even bothered. That's such a brilliant question to ask. Do the servants at your parents' home in Uganda make $30 an hour? That would be perfect.
Like, that would be a good livable wage for Uganda. And then maybe that guy that wants to move to Africa can get a job there. It's $30 an hour. That's awesome.
Exactly right.
There's another way. And then Elliker can pay for the food. Maybe he can ask Yale, because there's a bunch of Yale people on his team there maybe ask Yale for $52 billion.
Why not? Why?
Food, right? They're a big
Such a good point. And what Fulton's talking about is yesterday's show with Justin Elliker suggesting he needed government funding because they have a lot of people in New Haven who can't afford to eat. And that's absolutely true. Stephen Orozco mentioned that in my interview with him, where he said that we don't, Yale contributes nothing to the city, but they use all the resources.
And people should know that they have a law force that's bigger than New Haven's law force. That only responds. It's like the Vatican City in there.
Yeah. I was thinking about that as he was describing it to me. It's like, it seems like its own little city
Vatican
inside the
City,
city. Yeah, Vatican is a perfect example.
And I got one more way Ned Lamont can pay for that stupid basketball team that 25 years I've never been to, and I don't know anybody's been to, but it's a good idea. Here, we should get into it. Take the $80 million or whatever from the stupid Sun buses we have left over.
Yeah. There you go. That's right. You know what? It's so funny because there's a good $37 million still sitting in Connecticut's coffers that are supposed to go to renovating the buses and the fleet, the state fleet of cars.
The electric fleet that burned up.
Yeah,
Come on.
absolutely. That would be the smartest thing to do to use that money if they want to keep the Connecticut Sun here.
It's already allocated, whatever. You know what? You want to do a stupid purchase. The bus thing is stupid. That thing's never going to make any money.
Exactly. 100% right. Thanks, Fulton. Let's get another check of weather and traffic. We got Hollywood news coming up. And then we'll go in online. So meet us there, WTIC.com or ReeseOnTheRadio.com. Mark Christopher's in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, bud.
They should take all those buses and cut them in half. Take them half the size. Nobody ever rides them.
I know, it's completely...
I don't see anybody riding them.
It's insane.
Should they cut them in half? Does that make them more fuel efficient or
I guess they
battery
would.
efficient? I
They
don't
get
know.
more miles per gallon. Oh,
Every time I see a Connecticut Transit bus, I count how many people are on them. It's like half the time there's nobody on the bus. It's like, what's going on here?
What a waste.
I know.
Yeah, I hear you.
Like I said, I said this many years ago. They should everybody who supposedly rides a bus, they should just give them a car. That would be cheaper than running all the buses,
right? You're 100% right.
I mean, it really would be if you think about it. Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now and you're on the southbound side of I-91, got slow traffic 33 down to 32.
All right, after this, I am going to switch over.
Slow traffic down by exit 21 at Cromwell. Northbound 91, easy ride Cromwell up into Windsor. Westbound 84 is tied up just after 56 Governor Street out to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound slows. But from 44 Prospect Oakwood into the tunnel, 2 eastbounds heavy off of I-84 out to exit 3 in East Hartford. 291, 384 okay, 9 northbound Middletown slowing Harbor Park to the Aracody Bridge. Again, some delays from 32 up to exit 36 in New Britain. If you're 84 westbound, delays 38 in Farmington down to 33 in Plainville and the 72 interchange. Westbound 84 into Waterbury slowing 22 to the Mixmaster. Heading into Hamden, southbound Parkway slows from 50 down into the West Rock Tunnel, and 95 South New Haven tight 46 to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8 WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather. WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
5 o'clock, good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Partly cloudy, breezy, cooler tonight, upper 40s. Sunny, breezy, cooler for our Wednesday. Temps in the upper 60s. With a government shutdown looming, Democratic lawmakers remain resolute on demands for an extension of expiring a water main break reported on South Colony Street. Police say that road was shut between Gold and Olive Streets. They're making repairs. A city spokesman says the break is contained to that general vicinity. About a half dozen multifamily homes and 2 commercial lots impacted. They also say they've received reports of discolored water as a result of the repairs that are in progress. Might be advisable to avoid that scene for the time being, if at all possible. Hundreds of admirals and generals were summoned to Virginia today by Secretary Pete Hegseth, and President Trump says we are reawakening the warrior spirits.
He suggested, as Hegseth had before him, that some people in that room maybe don't have their jobs for the right reasons, that they don't have as high qualifications as they could have, but that they were put in those positions because of DEI, that perhaps they are minorities, perhaps they are women. And he added that if anyone in the room doesn't like what he's saying, they can leave, although he said they would immediately lose their rank.
Correspondent Nancy Cortez. Trump also said major cities could serve as training grounds for the military. State wants to hear from anyone who may have information about the killings of 2 men whose bodies were found burning in a vehicle in Oxford last
Check, check.
Be worth $50,000
Hold
if
on.
the tip leads
Yeah, I'm here.
to an arrest and conviction. The deaths of 36-year-old David Rivera and 30-year-old Carlos
Yeah, I got
Calderon.
you.
Both men were from Hartford. Rivera's uncle, William Mendoza, thanks police for their efforts, but wants the community to step in as well.
It can't all be done by this great team that has put their effort forward. We need your help.
Chief State's Attorney Patrick Griffin didn't share much about the investigation, but did say it appeared planned.
Premeditation means that it is planned in advance, and based upon the facts and circumstances of the investigation thus far, I think it's fair to say that this was not a chance encounter. That these individuals were taken to a particular location, whether they died there or at another location. There was a plan.
Anyone with any information being asked to contact Connecticut State Police. And the calendar flips to October tomorrow, and well, temperatures around here recently would suggest otherwise. Fall foliage season is upon us in Connecticut. Chris Martin's the Director of Forestry for the State Department of Energy and Environmental Protection.
Well, I think we're just getting started. There is trees that are definitely turning. And we've had some cool nights, and we have some cool nights coming this week, which will really kick things in gear as far as bright colors go.
He says the trees that elicit the most vibrant color are oaks, sugar maples, and red maples. He says the season typically runs through early November and is a boon to the state tourist economy as well. Wall Street, the Dow up 81, the NASDAQ up 68, S&P up 27. Red Sox baseball next on TIC. Game 1 of the American League Wild Card Series with the Yankees. We got the pregame at 5:08. First pitch is an hour later. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Does that mean we just go?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay. Forgive him, Wendy. He can be a little sensitive. And Tim, I'm not saying that to be mean. You're kind of thin-skinned, my friend. You know you are. I don't know what that's about. Anyway, program will resume shortly.
Yeah, you have to actually wait and click over.
You are cutting
2.5
in and out.
minutes.
We have to wait till what?
We have to wait till it clicks over to the Red Sox game. Right now, it's on commercials.
Oh, okay. So it's got to. Why do I have to bite you, Tim? Come on, Judge. Okay, you're not sensitive. I just said that you're a little bit sensitive, and you immediately attack me. Well, if that's not proving my point, what is? If anything, you should have just ribbed me back. That's all you can do. Just rib me back. That's what one of my buddies would do. They would do the same thing. Wendy, please don't start with him. What is on? Who was that calling the hotline?
The hour that packs a punch. It's Reese on the radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
There we go. It's Hollywood News with your correspondent, Reese on the radio. All the glitz and all the glamour. It's Hollywood News. Now, we're already after 5:08. Do I have to go directly into traffic and weather?
Yeah, we have to.
We have to? Well, darn it, I should have just saved it. Let's go to Mark Christopher in the BPM. Anyway, Mark, I was just about to get into Hollywood News. I looked at the time and said, wait a minute, Mark's has to come in. So you do that.
I'll make this quick.
Go
I'll
for
make
it.
it quick. All right, southbound 91 delays 33 down to 32 IMB, and again slowing 27 down to 28. More delays as you move from 24 down to 23 in Rocky Hill, and another bump down by exit 20 Country Club Road in Middletown. Northbound 91's okay. Cromwell up into Winterlocks. Westbound 84 tight up, approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound locked up. 44 Prospect Oakwood down to the Bulkley Bridge. 291 through 84 okay. 2 eastbound moving well into Glastonbury. 9 northbound delays. Harbor Park to the Aragoni Bridge in Middletown. Again, Delays on 9 northbound from 32 in Berlin up to exit 36 in New Britain. Westbound 84 in Farmington, slowing 37 down to 33 in the 72 interchange in Plainville. Waterbury 84 westbound, slowing at the Mixmaster. Southbound Parkway delays approaching 50 into the West Rock Tunnel. Northbound on the Parkway, slowing 46 into the West Rock Tunnel. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Cooler, low 47 and cooler weather tomorrow, but plenty of sun, a gusty breeze, and a high of 67. Clear and chilly tomorrow night, and 43. Thursday looks nice, bright and sunny in the morning, a mix of sun and clouds in the afternoon. High is 65. It'll begin to warm up starting with Friday, mostly sunny, high 73, and a return of much warmer weather for the weekend. Right now it is 75 at Waterbury. It's 76 degrees at Bristol and 78 in Hartford. I'm Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Most of us like to be out in the sun. That's why and other
Thank you,
safety
sir.
measures are key to protecting your skin from aging and cancer. The FDA recommends using a sunscreen with a sun protection factor, or SPF, of 15 or higher. Also, look for broad spectrum on the label. That means both harmful ultraviolet A and B rays are blocked. UVA rays age the skin, UVB rays burn, and both cause cancer. But the perfect sunscreen doesn't count if you use it wrong. Don't need sunscreen on a cloudy day? Wrong. 80% of UV rays still get through the haze. Only use sunscreen at the beach? Nope. Anytime you're outside, UV rays attack the skin, so you need protection. And you have to reapply sunscreen every 2 hours. Remember, SPF plus broad spectrum. Healthy fun in the sun. Visit www.fda.gov/sunscreen for more information. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
All right, let's try it one more time. It's Hollywood News with your correspondent, Reese on the Radio. All the glitz, all the glamour. It's Hollywood News. In today's Hollywood News, this one's actually a weird one. I've said this often. In fact, sometimes people just say, you say it way too often, Reese on the Radio. But there's good reason for it because I knew it was happening. Are you familiar with a young lady by the name of Lily Norwood? If you are not, that is because Lily Norwood doesn't exist. But she could very well be the beginning of the end for Hollywood, or at least as actors and actresses are concerned. It's, not Lily, Tilly Norwood. So apparently she is a fully AI-generated virtual actress who's ignited a fierce debate in the entertainment industry since her unveiling earlier this month. She was created by a Dutch AI talent studio called Excoa. And Norwood represents a pioneering and polarizing step in the integration of artificial intelligence into acting and filmmaking. Her emergence comes amid ongoing tensions over AI's role in Hollywood, exacerbated by the 2023 SAG-AFTRA strike, which people, took to the streets in Hollywood and would not work, either being writing or, of course, acting. And this has happened a lot. And this Tilly person, obviously, because she's AI, she can work long hours. She can work any hour of the day. She doesn't complain. She doesn't care about fame. She doesn't care about anything. She will work at the behest of the movie studio. They don't have to pay her any money. They do have to pay whoever's, designing her and doing, all of the other stuff. If they want her to do a suggestive scene, they can get her to do a suggestive scene. They don't have to offer anything in the contract. And this is bothersome to some actresses. And it will make them irrelevant. And then there's the most important part. Age. Age is the big problem. As actors and actresses get older, they, run out of favor inside the Hollywood ecosystem. Women Definitely so. As women start to get around 40, 50, 60 years old, they often get typecast. And movies aren't really made for them. Usually movie studios are looking for the next hot, new, young actress. Woman turns 80, or now, not even worse, she turns 30. She's out the door in a heartbeat. No one wants her. Men, on the other hand, they can work forever. Hell, Denzel Washington is still doing karate chops at 62. But it doesn't work like that for women, sadly. Although Charlize Theron still gets work. Some women work like crazy, but...
Denzel, 70.
Is he 7? No, he's not. No, he's not.
Yeah, he's 70 years old.
No, are you serious? Is he 70?
Yeah, he's 70.
He just did, wasn't he Equalizer 3? Was he like, that was just a couple of years ago. Was he like late 60s then?
Yeah.
Damn. Okay, whatever. Anyway, my point remains. Keanu Reeves, again, he'll stay around forever. But, you know, he's going to have to knock it off with the John Wick stuff at a certain age. Thank God he's a younger man. But he's going to have to knock it off after a while. But women, forget about it. They're just looking for the next new starlet. You know, so it's over. But with these AI actresses, if you can work them in like you do, you know, Who Framed Roger Rabbit? You know, you can get actual actors with AI, or that Roger Rabbit thing that was, you know, with animation. You know, if you can do the numbers that that movie did, and of course, don't forget Space Jam with Michael Jordan. I don't count that other nonsense that LeBron James did, but you know what I'm saying. It's quite possible to get it done. To get that AI actress to do anything, work anytime, never complain, doesn't have to worry about her close-up, her ego, won't argue with you, doesn't care about craft services, can't gain weight. And especially, I mean, I look at it this way. Let's consider this. If AI gets really, really good, and I know I'm going to tick off Craig when I mention this, but if AI really gets good as far as Hollywood's concerned, those Marvel folks could just bang out a movie every year. They don't have to wait 3 years. I mean, if you think about it, if I want Tom Holland to be in my next Spider-Man film, I could get him a cut. They could say, hey, for using your likeness. I mean, most of that movie is CGI anyway, right? I mean, other than the actual acting part, but a lot of that stuff is a good 50% CGI. I just pay him for his likeness. Hey, here's $2 million to use your likeness in the film. Show up at the premiere, wave to the kids, go home. The guy got, do you guys know this? Tom Holland, the new Spider-Man kid, he got a concussion on the set the other day. Imagine that. Insurance. Tom Cruise. What do they put, like $7 million insurance on the craziness that guy does in movies? You know, jumping off the side of a building, leaping from helicopter to helicopter, and then wanting to do it himself. No blue screen stuff. Lunatic. Imagine how much money they save. Oh, they will fight that forget about it. They'll fight that forever. Who would see, Roland, would you see a fully AI movie? Like, let's say they made the next Iron Man strictly AI. Would you go see it? Would that be like a bridge too far for you?
I don't know. I had to see the preview first. See how
like if you saw the trailer and it looked really, really realistic.
Yeah, then I have to see it.
Then you have to check it out, right?
Yeah, but it's pretty soon.
I mean,
it's gonna be like Westworld on HBO.
You know what? I really do believe that. I think that we've gotten to the point where the cost of making a film is through the roof. And White Mike calls here all the time and talks about that. One of the problems he has with the Marvel films is that these films cost $200 to $300 million, and they've got to pull $1 billion to break even, especially with all the promotion that they do. So at some point, something's got to give. And with the demands of a lot of these actors, you win an Oscar, you demand $20 million a film. If you're lucky, some people even more. Like, Keanu Reeves can command that kind of money because his films do gangbusters. I don't know if Will Smith makes that kind of
Denzel
money.
does.
Denzel definitely does. Forget about it. To get him into those sequels, because he's never done sequels before the Equalizer films. You got to give him that kind of money. And you got to give him a cut of the film nowadays. But with that rate of expense for films that really don't do well, because you can get that. What was that movie? Did you see that Disney put out that film called John Carter? Does that sound familiar? I think that's the name of it.
John Carter.
It was a weird Disney film that they spent like $260 million on. And William Dafoe was in it. I don't even know who the lead character is, but I want to say it wasn't John. It may not have been John Carter.
Not Agent Carter, right?
No,
John
no, no.
Carter.
No, I want to say it's John Carter, but whatever it is, it was a scientific, weird Disney film that was like, it cost millions of dollars to make. And it was got to be one of the most expensive films made since Waterworld, which of course is another great example.
That was a great movie, though.
Yeah, really? Did you like Waterworld?
Yeah, I like Waterworld.
I mean, it was okay. I mean, I don't think it was great.
It kind of reminds me Avatar.
Yes, I think that
but
was
Avatar was much, much better.
But even take that example. Avatar is another great example. That movie is all CGI, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it
a
is.
lot of it now.
Yeah, I mean,
The first one wasn't as much.
Right, but now it's like I can bang one out every year, and all I need is probably some voice actors to at least that star power. It's almost like creating Avatar the same way I make Toy Story, which in essence, I mean, that's what because don't forget, we're looking at Toy Story movies. They're about to do a fifth one because that movie prints money.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but it just does.
There's always, it's because they have comedy, romance, heartfelt, pull your heartstrings, all wrapped in the same movie, and it has the same characters too.
Isn't it wild that I was just doing this? I think I did it one of my first couple of shows here. I was looking at that story. And it says that if you were a kid watching the first Toy Story, by the time the fourth one came out, you were in your mid-30s.
Yeah.
Taking your kids to see Toy Story 4. When Toy Story 5 comes out, you'll be in your 40s. You might be a grandparent between the first and the fifth.
Yeah, and that just lets you know how good the movie is, because we anticipated it, we wanted to see it, and then I made sure my daughter watched the 1, 2, and 3 before we went to see 4. Yep. Same with Harry Potter.
Yeah, I know that the Harry Potter thing. That's it.
I made her watch all of them with me before we saw the new one.
But I look at most of those films and I say the same thing. Like in the Harry Potter films, like you're going to have to do it that way, especially with that kind of cast, right? What was the? Oh goodness gracious! What was the name of that movie? It was the Mummy movie, The Scorpion King.
Okay.
All right, with The
Rock.
Right, with The Rock. In fact, if I remember correctly, that was his first film. Right, that was his first feature film.
First big film.
Yeah.
I think was Walking Tall before that or after?
No,
It was after. Okay,
yeah.
Okay,
Scorpion
King.
So Scorpion King was his first film. I remember him regretting the fact that they did so much CGI with the like when he did the thing. He really hated that, and many people couldn't stand it. I think it was destroyed the franchise. But anyway, in that scene, I remember watching some behind the scenes footage, and they were talking about how his army is coming across, the desert. And they talked about how they created that, and it was very early in its, in its design, but how they created his army through computers. Like they just doubled up on all of these people to make it look like 1 million people coming over the sand dunes, which I said to myself, that could be dangerous because from a distance, if you're watching the movie, you can't really tell that it's CGI. What happens when you can actually improve on it right up on the front of the screen?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we are with this Tilly Norwood. This Tilly Norwood thing, some people saw it and they didn't know she was AI. That's how good this was. And I think that's what created this big problem with this, because actors know that if they can be replaced, because they know how demanding they can be. I mean, look, folks, You've heard some of the stories about actors on movie sets. We've had two really huge stories about this. Christian Bale back in the days on the Dark Knight, that behind the scenes footage where he's screaming at some lighting guy, and then famously after that, Tom Cruise on the set of the latest Mission Impossible, where he was screaming at people who are on the soundstage not wearing their masks because they were filming that during COVID. And he was, again, through the roof screaming and hollering. They caught him on tape. And people were just like, what's going on with Tom Cruise? I loved it personally because I've never heard Tom Cruise yell at a guy. And it was the best. If you've never heard it, go look it up. It's one of the best. And but when we start to see that, people are like, do I really want to deal with that kind of ego on a movie set? And many people say no. So this AI thing, I don't know, if they do it right, it could actually help Hollywood. There are going to be some purists who are going to be, I'm not going to see it, but, I think it'll help. I think it'll help. Oh, is Tim upset that he was going to call? Oh, I'm sorry, Tim. If you want to call now, you can. I'm going to a commercial. You can wait on hold. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know how important it was for you to get on the air. My bad. I'm sometimes, I have this incurable habit of talking on my own radio show. I'm not exactly sure where it comes from, but it's a habit that, on the show that bears my name, I talk on it. And, I've been trying to figure out exactly why that happens, but here we are. Maybe I'll work on it. I'll think about it during the commercial break. Why do I do that? Just go on and talk on a talk show that bears my name. Weird. When we come back, we'll also do what had happened was, I didn't do this report. I meant to do it yesterday. Maybe I'll cover it. $80 million found sent to groups tied to extreme violence. It's Soros. We'll get into that when we return. So stand by for that. We've got more weather. Are we going to the bottom of the hour here, or are we still doing weather and traffic? Oh, it looks like we're doing weather and traffic. Let's do that. We'll be back. Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Traffic Center.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. If you're westbound 84, you got delays approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound, delays from 44 Prospect Oakwood into the tunnel. 91 southbound's a little slow at 32 A and B. And again, 27 down to exit 28. Tight again down by exit 23 down to 22 in Cromwell. Northbound 91 moves well. Cromwell up into Windsor. 291 through 84. Okay. 2 eastbound is a little slow off of I-84 out to exit 3 in East Hartford. 9 northbound, you got delays. Harbor Park up to the Aragoni Bridge in Middletown. Again, 32 up to 36 in New Britain. Westbound 84 tied up from 38 in Farmington out to exit 33 in the 72 interchange in Plainville. 72 westbound slowing from exit 2 up to the 84 west merge in Plainville. Traffic and weather together on the 8 WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Nice and warm for the remainder of this afternoon. The mixture of clouds and sunshine, low humidity, and a high temperature not far from 80 degrees tonight. Partly cloudy and breezy. And turning cooler, tonight's low 47. Breezy, cooler weather tomorrow. Plenty of sunshine with a high of 67. Clear and chilly tomorrow night, low 43. Upper 30s across some outlying areas. Thursday, bright and sunny in the morning. A mix of sun and high clouds. Thursday afternoon, cool with a high temperature of 65. Friday looks nice. A good deal of sunshine. Turning warmer Friday afternoon with a high up to 73 degrees. The trend of warmer weather will continue over the weekend. Plenty of sunshine on Saturday and afternoon, high up to 81 degrees. Sunday, mostly sunny, very warm for this time of year. Sunday's high up to 83. Warm weather will continue on Monday with some sunshine and highs again in the 80s. No chance of rain over the next several days. This is meteorologist Bob Larson in the WTIC Weather Center.
This is an important public service announcement for our listeners. Reese on the Radio is also a podcast. You can find us anytime on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Catch the full episode, listen by individual hour, or jump straight to the highlights. Just open up your favorite podcast app, search Reese on the Radio, and hit the follow button so you can get every minute of the show your way and on your time. And now, a WTIC news update.
5:30, good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Clock's ticking toward a government shutdown. That could be the case, barring an 11th hour miracle. Democrats say Republicans are refusing to negotiate a standoff over health care subsidies due to expire at year's end. Republicans are blaming Democrats for the predicament they all find themselves in at this point. President Trump and Secretary Pete Hegseth addressed top military brass in Quantico, Virginia today. Trump wants American cities to be training grounds for the armed forces. Hegseth announced new directives for troops that include gender-neutral or male-level standards for physical fitness. The State Office of Inspector General has determined an officer-involved shooting of a suspect last year in New Haven was justified. The IG says the officers shot and killed Jabril Conley last September 19th as they investigated him for an outstanding warrant. Conley fired a shot through a driver's side window, they say. Officers attempting to arrest him fired back. Naugatuck police have arrested a teenager in connection with a weekend attempted robbery. They say 18-year-old Larry Mason allegedly went to a multifamily residence on Hill Street in the borough around 8 Saturday night to steal cash from a resident who lived there. A struggle ensued, during which Mason fired a shot from a gun police say he'd been holding. Nobody was injured. State offering $50,000 to anyone with information that leads to an arrest and conviction in the deaths of two men whose bodies were found in a burning vehicle in Oxford last year. The state did not share any more about the investigation into what happened that day to 36-year-old David Rivera and 39-year-old Carlos Calderon. Baseball wild card playoffs have begun. The Tigers beat the Guardians in game one of a wild card today in Cleveland. Cubs look like they're about to put away the Padres. They lead 3-1, top nine. And the Reds take on the Dodgers tonight in Dodger Stadium. Yankees, Red Sox on the radio, 6:08, the first pitch there. Wall Street, the Dow up 81. NASDAQ gained 68. S&P was up 27. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Most of us like to be out in the sun. That's why sunscreen and other safety measures are key to protecting your skin from aging and cancer. The FDA recommends using a sunscreen with a sun protection factor, or SPF, of 15 or higher. Also, look for broad spectrum on the label. That means both harmful ultraviolet A and B rays are blocked. UVA rays age the skin, UVB rays burn, and both cause cancer. But the perfect sunscreen doesn't count if you use it wrong. Don't need sunscreen on a cloudy day? Wrong. 80% of UV rays still get through the haze. Only use sunscreen at the beach? Nope. Anytime you're outside, UV rays attack the skin, so you need protection. And you have to reapply sunscreen every 2 hours. Remember, SPF plus broad spectrum equal healthy fun in the sun. Visit www.fda.gov/sunscreen for more information. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
Who do I wrestle for? I wrestle on my high school team for Jason Garcia, my fiercest competitor during practice and my biggest fan during meets. I wrestle for my parents who practice what they preach, the importance of hard work, commitment, and dedication. I wrestle for the chance to put our little high school right here in Connecticut on the map.
Wearing the uniform of your high school comes with a big responsibility. Younger kids...
30 seconds.
Got your teammates count on you, and the reputation of your high school depends on you. Do you have what it takes to participate in a high school sport?
And I wrestle for the glory that is mine when I do my best. That's who I wrestle for.
This message presented by the Connecticut Interscholastic Athletic Conference and the Connecticut Association of Athletic Directors.
The Odyssey app lets you jump back to the moments you missed from WTIC News Talk 1080. Download the free Odyssey app, search WTIC News Talk 1080, and tap earlier today to get started.
What had happened was.
That's right. It's time for What Had Happened Was on Reese on the Radio. And what had happened was we began the show by asking the simple question, what in goodness gracious has happened to Josh Elliott? We've got 10 months to go before the primary, and he is nowhere to be found. Today, he posted a video saying that by midnight tonight, he needed more fundraising dollars, your dollars, to help his campaign so he could run against Governor Lamont in the primary.
I'm Josh Elliott, and I'm running for governor of Connecticut. This week is our first big test, the end of quarter fundraising deadline. To qualify for public financing, we have to show that thousands of everyday people are with us, not corporations, not the wealthy few. The fight ahead could not be more urgent. We're up against a Trump movement that's willing to tear down democracy and strip away freedoms. Here in Connecticut, we need leadership ready to protect our immigrant families, making our state affordable for working people, and stand strong against creeping fascism. Public financing is how we build a campaign rooted in people, not special interests. But to unlock it, we need your help right now. And before midnight, every donation between $5 to $320 matters. I'm asking you right now to step up and chip in. Make a contribution before midnight and help us send a clear message. Connecticut is ready for a governor who can't be bought and won't back down.
All right. And, of course, he'll be our guest tomorrow at 4 p.m. I guess we got to figure it out. One of the questions I will be asking Josh Elliott is that claim he said about MAGA folks that will take away freedoms, like they will support a president who wishes to take away our freedoms. Yeah, I never understood that because that used to be an argument back during the Obama era when they used to say, you know, we wanted to throw grandma off the cliff, that we wanted dirty air and dirty water. And the thing that I was like, do conservatives live on another planet? Like, why would we be voting for our own dirty water and our own dirty air? Like, conservatives are so evil that we walk up every day and go, you know, this air is too damn clean. If only we had more toxic fumes. And this suggestion that Republicans, Hannity used to say it all the time, you know, and I just wonder, like, where do we live? Like, do you really think that we're sitting up here going, you know, Donald Trump wants to take our freedoms? Well, I'm voting for that. Gung-ho, Donald Trump, take away all of our freedoms. Are you talking about us? Like, are you sure? So I want to ask him about that. That's got to be addressed. Let's get another check of traffic and weather. Mark Christopher's in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're heading into Hartford, westbound side of 84, look for delays. Bulkley Bridge out to 47, Sigourney Street, 84 eastbound, slowing about a mile before 46 Sisson Avenue, up to 48 Capitol Avenue. Southbound 91's a little tight by 33, down to 32 A and B. And again, down by exit 27 and 28, another minor bump down by 23 in Rocky Hill. Looks good northbound 91 Cromwell up into Windsor. 291 through 84 okay. 2 westbound slowing as you merge to the 84 west and East Hartford. Both sides of 9 heavy approaching the Aragoni Bridge. 9 northbound slowing 32 in Berlin up to exit 34 in New Britain. 84 westbound, you got delays 37 in Farmington out to 33 in Plainville. If you're traveling on the westbound side of 84 in Waterbury, delays 25A up to the Mixmaster. 84 eastbound Waterbury slowing by exit 18. Southbound Parkway, you've got delays approaching 50 in Hamden into the West Rock Tunnel. Traffic and weather together on the 8th. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Temperatures drop down into the 40s overnight, a low 47. And then sunny and cooler tomorrow, first day of October. Breezy, high is 67. That'll be followed by a clear, chilly night tomorrow night, low 43. Mostly sunny and cool Thursday. A few late day clouds, high 65. Trending warmer again on Friday, mostly sunny and pleasant with a high of 73. It's currently 75 at Oakville, 76 degrees in Torrington, and 78 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Most of us like to be out in the sun. That's why sunscreen and other safety measures are key to protecting your skin from aging and cancer. The FDA recommends using a sunscreen with a sun protection factor, or SPF, of 15 or higher. Also, look for broad spectrum on the label. That means both harmful ultraviolet A and B rays are blocked. UVA rays age the skin, UVB rays burn, and both cause cancer. But the perfect sunscreen doesn't count if you use it wrong. Don't need sunscreen on a cloudy day? Wrong. 80% of UV rays still get through.
30 seconds.
Only use sunscreen at the beach? Nope. Anytime you're outside, UV rays attack the skin, so you need protection. And you have to reapply sunscreen every 2 hours. Remember, SPF plus broad spectrum equal healthy fun in the sun. Visit www.fda.gov/sunscreen for more information. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is.
You know who it is. You know who it is.
It's Reese on the Radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
Yeah, we're almost out of here. Let's go, George in St. Louis. I haven't talked to him in a bit. What's going on, sir?
Hi, Reese. That statement you read earlier from Mangani about how he's going to treat hate crimes.
Yes, by uptick of 800% of investment.
Yeah. Anyway, the way that is scripted.
Mm-hmm.
That's right out of John Orwell's 1984. It's called double speak.
Yeah.
you're being duped here. It's both illogical and has no substance whatsoever.
100% right. Because in essence, by saying that it's going to be hate crime prevention and then actually list the things on here on how they wish to achieve this, it has nothing to do with I guess, the person who is promoting hate. It addressed people who can claim that they are victims of it.
The statement itself is garbage.
Well, of course.
And it's time anyone in journalism who hears this stuff ought to send it back to them, telling them it's garbage and it's double speak. It's right out of George Orwell's 1984.
Yeah.
They gotta shove this down their throats. I am angry about hearing stuff like this. It just hits a raw nerve with me when they try double speak. It's called double speak, and you should mention the word frequently. Double speak.
Let me ask you this, George. When people like the former First Lady's chief of staff says that Mamdani is a noose around their neck, his words, not mine, for the Democrat Party, especially those who are having a hard time endorsing him because they're concerned about being tied to his socialist ideas. What do you make of that? Do you think that statement is true, that the reason why there's a relucance by Hakeem Jeffries and
I think I'll tell you the truth. I think Mamdani is an atomic bomb. He's ready to go off, and he's going to blow up. He's going to take with him the whole Democrat Party.
I don't want to sound crazy here, but there's a degree of me that kind of wants that Aaron that.
Yeah, I would like to see Mamdani get elected. Because
You do.
He's going to take the Democrat Party down with them. He's an implosion.
Yeah.
Mamdani is an inside Democrat implosion.
So what do you?
And it'll wreck the whole party. I'm glad to see that.
Oh, so am I. That's what I'm like. So what do you think? Because that's the part I don't seem to understand. I don't understand the teeth gnashing and the hand wringing of Republicans who know that Mamdani becoming New York mayor is going to be the downfall. It's like, who cannot see that?
Well, sure it is. Trump knows.
Oh
this.
yeah, exactly.
He knows. He already knows Mamdani is an implosion. He's not going to stop. Nobody's going to stop him. They want the Democrats to die They want Mondani to fail. It's that simple.
Yeah,
Well,
I would. Exactly. That's what I would say. I'm just like, what's the old line? If you see your enemy killing himself,
yeah, let them do it.
yeah, it's like,
Let 'em
you
alone.
kind of have to do that.
That's exactly right. Okay, thank you.
You got it, sir. Thank you. Yeah, again, that's why, like, all of this hand-wringing by Republicans is just like, I can't believe New Yorkers. I'm like, you got to let them. You got to let them, and you got to seize everything from it. Like, that's the strategy. I'll say this, and then I'll get to the $80 million the Soros thing. You know, you have to look at the game that you're playing. I say this too often. Imagine you're in a football game, or better yet, you're in any sport. I don't care. Whatever your sport is, think about that sport. And imagine the opponent that you have is the one you have to beat for the championship. Let me lay the whole scenario out for you. And then, for some reason, no good reason, the opposing coach starts walking over to your side of the field, to your dugout, to whatever, before the game, and he hands you his playbook. He says, here, I wanted to give this to you. And you say, what is this? I'm like, these are all the plays we are going to run today. Have at it. Now, you may say to yourself, for somebody to be that arrogant, they're saying, they don't respect me. They're going to give me all of their plays because they don't think I can beat any of these plays. Or they're arrogant and they don't think you can beat any of their plays. They're arrogant and they think you're too bad, or they think they're too good. But it all leads to the same. But they give it to you. And Zoran Mamdani is not doing anything new. His socialist playbook, his Democrat socialism / communism, it's nothing new. There's not a new idea out the man's mouth. We've seen it throughout history, and we've watched it fail. And we've watched Democrats be afraid to even respond to it. They won't even condemn it. They are handing you their playbook. And everybody else is running around going, I can't believe it. It's like, but what do you do now that you have the playbook? Do you not play the game? Do you sit around and complain that you have the playbook in front of you and you know every move they're going to make? Do you complain about it? Or do you play the game and you whip the pants off of them? You allow them. They're telling you what they're going to do. Mamdani is going to win, and he is going to make government grocery stores. He's going to make mass transit free. He is going to tax the wealthy. He's going to go after wealthier white neighborhoods. He is going to drive industry right out of New York. He is going to leave that place to the poor, to the maniacs, to the lunatics, and the activists. And that city will burn, figuratively and literally. Why would you be upset? You can use that as a model. It's the #1 market in the country. Everything, right now, every camera, every radio station, every medium has got their lens pointed at New York today. And as they implode, the entire world is going to witness it in real time. In real time. Why would you gnash your teeth? Why would you wring your hands? Let them. Let everyone else see it as it happens. And use it as a see, hey, you see New York? Do you see what they did to that city? How about it? Do you want to vote for that too? Huh? You want more of that? You want to bring that up here? And people will go, oh, not really. Well, what do you think you can do? That's what I would do. You use the playbook against him. Yeah, Michael, I said escape from New York. That's exactly what it is. We're not. That's the thing. That's exactly the point. Somebody in the chat room says, why is your party so worried about Mamdani? Again, that's my point. If you were listening, I just asked. I don't know why they're worried. I wouldn't be. Everything about this guy is a failure. None of his ideas are going to work. But that's okay. We're going to ask Josh Elliott about him, and I think I don't even know if he fully endorses Mamdani, but we'll ask him about that as well. We'll get as much stuff as we can get in. So stay tuned for that, 4 o'clock tomorrow. As bad as he is, the Republicans still have no chance. Oh, you mean maybe in New York? Absolutely. Oh, without a doubt. That's because New York thinks it's too big to fail, Matt. That's the reason why. A report says that Soros' foundation gave $80 million to groups tied to extreme violence. Amid President Trump's official designation of Antifa as a terrorist organization, a new report details how the prominent billionaire may be funneling millions of cash to extremist groups engaging in violent uprisings nationwide. A new report from Capital Research Center details how billionaire George Soros' Open Society Foundations has given more than $80 million to groups tied to terrorism and extremist violence. The foundation has awarded more than $23 million to 7 groups that directly assist domestic terrorism and criminality, including engaging in providing material support to violence, property destruction, economic sabotage, harassment, among others, that meet the domestic terrorism definition according to the report. This report, which was authored by Ryan Morrow, details the nexus between domestic terrorist activities and support of international terrorism, specifically Hamas, in addition to communist sympathizers. Open Society has sent millions of dollars, it reads, into U.S.-based organizations that engage in direct actions that the FBI defines as domestic terrorism, according to this report. These groups include the Center for Third World Organizing, its militant partner Ruckus Society, which trained activists in property destruction and sabotage during the 2020 riots, the Sunset Movement, which endorsed the Antifa-linked Stop Cop City campaign, in which activists currently face over 40 domestic terrorism charges and 60 racketeering indictments. The report highlights the Sunshine Movement, which it says has received at least $2 million from Open Society, adding that it has endorsed and solicited financial support for Antifa-associated groups such as Stop Cop City, Defend Atlanta Forest Coalition. The coalition has been tied to arson, violence against law enforcement, and utility workers, including an attack on the construction of a police training center by throwing Molotov cocktails, bricks, and rocks while setting construction equipment on fire. And that is why I think it was Alex Soros just recently just said that we're going to continue to fund the groups that we fund. He said, and Donald Trump will stop me over my dead body, which you may have heard as of recent. You also may have heard that there are reports that the FBI, Pam Bondi, are all looking into racketeering. That's quite possible, but we will follow that as it goes on. I think that this report is just the tip of the iceberg. $80 million is small potatoes. But like I said, we'll keep you posted. And as many people like to suggest here, I covered all the news. I know it was suggested not too long ago that I did not cover certain news, but I will definitely cover that news, just so you know. So we're in the right place here. If the people in New York want him, who are you to object? Okay, maybe I'm trying this again. I don't think that people listen to me. This is the only downside of radio. Because on television, you can actually see the person. And that's the reason why we do the show the way we do it, where you can watch it online. So let me say it again. I am not opposed to Mamdani becoming the mayor of New York. I encourage it. I am the one who is, if anything, I'm practically spearheading his campaign to win. I am celebrating the possibility of him becoming the New York mayor. I want it to happen. I'm really desirous. of Mamdani to become. I'm already calling him Mayor Mamdani. There is no opposition here. I care more about him winning than the people who support him. I need this to happen. Excuse me. I don't even have any money on it, although I should. Here we go again. I'm celebrating this. I want it to happen. I want you to witness it. I want you in particular, those of you who are celebrating the chance that you will finally get the socialism that you have been waiting for. Finally, poor people, black people, brown people, they will finally have a representative who is the mayor of the city who will go out and get retribution from all of those rich bastards who keep the money for themselves. He will make the city affordable. No longer $3,000 rents. People will be able to live in a home for the small payment of $12 to $15. I want him to make sure that homeless people can live all over the city, no matter where they want. You want to sleep in a subway car? Absolutely. We'll subsidize that. We'll give you a Metro card. You want to sleep on the street? We'll provide you with the blankets. Oh, you do heroin? Ha, we got you there too. Come on by Fifth Avenue and pick up a fresh needle. Want to smoke weed at a funeral? Why not? Anything goes. I want this. I need it. Are you kidding me? I want this more than anything. It's on my Christmas list. Like, really? I've got a vision board. I want it all. I'm here for it. I just want to laugh every day. I want to watch every one of those people sitting around screaming and hollering. You know how much these people on the left, after the election of Donald Trump, they tried to do this hashtag, do you regret your vote? You know, do you regret it? Remember, they kept asking that. So it's like, oh, do Trump supporters, regret their vote? And they were really trying to, push that narrative. I can't wait until mid-2026. I can't wait. When New Yorkers see the hell that they voted for. And let's see if anybody asked that question to them. Hey, you regret your vote? You're damn right they will. It's going to be glorious. It's going to be glorious. Zach says, I hope the city collapses so that I can buy a building on the cheap. I agree with you. Zach also says, I want to smoke weed at my funeral. Well, if it's your funeral, sir, you can smoke whatever you want. So, even Lori's like, I hope he wins. This is the first time in my life that more Republicans are cheering for a Democrat. Well, a Democrat socialist, but nonetheless, a Democrat. We're voting for him. We're not voting for him. We're celebrating him. We want him to win. We'll see you guys mañana, hump day, as Roland likes to call it. As I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your mind. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the Radio. You have a good night, pleasant tomorrow. We'll see you back here at 2 p.m. mañana. Mark Christopher, he's getting you home. He's in the BPS Driving Center. Good night, sir.
Hey, good night, Reese. Have a good one. We'll see you tomorrow. If you're heading 84 eastbound into Hartford, you got some...
All right, good sir.
Thank you,
Dixon
sir.
Avenue up to 48 Capitol Avenue.
ya
Westbound 84
mañana.
slowing coming
See you tomorrow. Hump day.
Hump
up.
day.
Sigourney, where it opens up nicely. If you are...
Oh, thank you, Michael A. You too, Zach. Have a great day. Let me read this last thing. He said, Reese, capitalism hasn't worked for the working poor, so they have nothing to lose with Mamdani. Famous last words. They have nothing to lose? Okay, I'll remember you said that. And I'm going to, right now, I'm screenshotting that statement, Donald. I'm screenshotting it right there. You haven't been right all week. Oh, and this one's going to be a doozy, so I'm definitely saving this one for you. What do they have to lose? You'll see. It's going to be glorious. Good night, y'all. I love you. Be good to each other.